Hokage give me a face. One Piece, Chapter 41-60. Chapter 41_Marina has arrived in the world of pirates. Roger left. He and the Hades Rayleigh, and Rayleigh's wife Charlie and others left Rogue Town. From now on, let's live a free and anonymous life. Ha 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 ha. Those were Roger's last words as he left Rogue Town, and there was a big smile on his face as he and Riley hooked up on their backs. Thank you, Yi-zan. After Roger left, Yi-zan dismissed demonic illusion. Under some pressure, Garp finally found a scapegoat and said in front of the whole world that he had personally solved Roger's feigned death. The new world has finally come. A large number of people with dreams go to sea to the Great Route, to find the legendary One Piece. And here, Yi-zan brought Robin and Alvia to Kokoyashi village in the East China Sea. Roger and Rayleigh will probably go to the Chambord Islands to live in seclusion as in the original book. Yi Shuenkai doesn't want to be on the Great Route. After all, there are too many strong people on the Great Route. In case Robin and Alvia are attacked while he is away, he couldn't even cry. So in the end, he brought his two daughters to Kokoyashi village in the East China Sea and lived a comfortable seclusion life. When you have nothing to do, teach Robin, improve Robin's strength, and tease Robin and Alvia when you are bored. Robin is quiet and shy, Olivia is strong and determined. Although she is a mother and daughter, Olivia looks very young, and with Yi-zan's fruit ability, Olivia will never grow old in the future. Of course, in addition to Robin and Alvia, Yi-zan will also take the two daughters to visit Nine Snake Island. After all, Nine Snake Island has a future wife, Hancock. Although Robin in the presence of Alvia was jealous, but with Yi-zan's tenderness and love, Hancock gradually disappeared from jealousy, and soon became good friends with Robin Alvia. Time is the most incomprehensible thing, and in the ease of life, time becomes even more illusory. The sand of time quietly flows away from the fingertips, and the years of time are fleeting. In the past few years, Robin has gradually grown into a slim beauty, while Alvia is still young and beautiful. Because of the relationship between mother and daughter, the two of them have similar appearances, but Robin has black hair. Sylvia's hair is silver, but because they are equally youthful and beautiful, they look more and more like sisters. Of course, Hancock, who is far away on Nine Snake Island, is getting more and more beautiful and more like a female emperor. In front of outsiders, Hancock is the emperor of Nine Snake Island. He is arrogant and cold, and no one dares to look at him wherever he sees it. In front of Yi-zan, Robin and Alvia, she turned into a cute girl again, pulling Robin and Alvia chatting all day long, or asking Yi-zan for kisses and hugs, clinging to people 10 times more than Robin. In the past few years, in addition to the growth of Robin and Hancock, the pirate world has also undergone a lot of changes. Because of the era of the great pirates that Roger's feigned death opened, countless pirates have emerged in recent years. And because Yi-zan destroyed the Navy headquarters a few years ago, causing a large number of captain-level navies to die, it is difficult for the Navy to suppress the increasingly powerful pirates, except for the first half of the Four Seas and the Great Route, known as the second half of the New World. The Navy completely lost control. Shanks, Whitebeard, Guy Duo, Charlotte Lingling, and a large number of strong men fought inextricably in the New World, fighting for islands, fighting for fame, and simply taking revenge. All kinds of battles made the situation even more chaotic. For these, Yi-zan just curled his lips in disdain. The real pursuit of life is to be dashing. Fame, money, power, everything is a cloud. This is the new world. The white sandy beach, the clear sea. A yuhi-haired girl of about 18 years old took Yi-zan's hand. She looked at all the sights in front of her with excitement. Although it was similar to the coast of the Hokage world, she could feel it slightly different. Don't be careless, there are a few masters in this world that surpass Cage level. Your strength is at the level of a general at most, but there are 4 emperors above the general. Yi-zan said with a light smile, raised his hand. The girl hugged her into his arms. The girl arched a few times in Yi-zan's arms with a happy face, and slowly closed her eyes. Dad is so nice. Yes, This girl is Yizan's daughter, Marina. Do you still remember, when he and the Roger pirates reached the end of the Great Route, Ralph drew, and obtained a very magical power, which reduced the consumption of the face fruit by half. For this reason, after several years of hard work, he successfully brought Marina to this world. Well, Yizan has actually returned to the Hokage world a lot in recent years. Except for Marina, other women don't seem to feel much about the proposal to come to the One Piece world. And even if it's Marina, what is her purpose? It really needs to be studied. For example, at this moment, Marina shrank in Yizan's arms like a kitten, but her eyes kept rolling, and her quirky eyes flashed with anticipation. Dad. Huh. You said before, your name in this world is Yizan. Yeah, what's wrong? Yizan curiously looked at the truth in his arms, and found that the truth had raised his head, and 243 lightly pecked Yizan's lips. Dad, you said, if your name in this world is Yizan, and my name is Shimura Marina, our names are not father and daughter, then. Are we two? Can. Marina's face was full of anticipation, and her lovely gaze broke Yizan's defense line by just a little bit. Yizan took a few quick breaths and suddenly raised his finger. Boom. Oops. Stinky Dad, why are you hitting me on the head again? Idiot, what's on your mind? I don't know yet. Little idiot. Hate. I'm not a fool. I'm smart. Humph. The mysterious appearance of Marina surprised Robin and Alvia, and Yizan couldn't possibly say that Marina was his daughter. After all, Marina was so old that she didn't look like her own daughter. Hello, my name is Shimura Marina, please give me more advice. Marina obediently saluted Robin and Alvia, then hugged Yizan's arm and rubbed it a few times with happiness on her face. I'm a little secretary raised by Brother Zan outside, and we'll live together from now on, hee hee. Chapter 42-Female Sailor and Two Little Loli. Marina settled down in Kokoyashi village like this. Fortunately, the house that Yizan built in the village was spacious enough, covering an area of several hundred square meters, an artistic house built with Mokuden wood style. In order to make Marina adapt to the world of pirates, in the following month, Yizan took Marina, Robin, and Alvia, 3 daughters, to start a tour. They played the East China Sea, the West China Sea, the South China Sea and the North Sea, and then went to the Great Route. Nine Snake Island was looking for Hancock to play, but what surprised Yizan the most was that Marina and Hancock were not on the right track. Dad, tell me honestly, am I prettier or Hancock is prettier? This was one night when he lived in the palace of Nine Snake Island, and Marina broke into Yizan's room and pressed Yizan on the bed to force him to question. I think you're prettier, Tilda. Really? Of course it is. Yizan nodded confidently, and immediately made Marina smile, and before her smile lasted for a few seconds, the door was kicked open with a bang, and Hancock rushed in wearing thin silk pajamas. Brother Zan, the concubine heard what you just said. Woohoo. Sit in your eyes, the concubine is not as beautiful as this Yuhi violent woman. Hancock blinked aggrievedly, his eyes' very tears soon burst out. Seeing that Hancock was so pitiful, Yizan's heart softened at once. He was about to change his mouth, and when he saw Marina's slightly choked mouth, at that moment, he could only sigh helplessly. All right, you two are the most beautiful in my eyes. You are equally beautiful. No. Today I must say who is more beautiful. Yes, there must be a winner. The characters of the two women are both the type of unwillingness to admit defeat. They insisted on forcing Yizan to speak out. Yizan was helpless, and suddenly hugged Marina's waist. With a force, he hugged her in his arms, and then waved to Hancock, pointing to the other side of himself. You sleep with me tonight. 2 idiots. Stinky Dad. I'm not stupid. Yes, I'm not an idiot either. Brother Zan, you are an idiot. In the end, the relationship between Marina and Hancock, who slept with Yizan, became inexplicably better. He played on Nine Snake Island for about a week, and finally returned to Coco West Village with Marina, Robin and Alvia. A few days later, a female sailor brought two little girls to Kokoyaksi village, where Yizan was. Bang bang bang. A security guard from Kokoja village knocked on Yizan's door. Robin looked at Yizan, who was sleeping with a newspaper on his face, and consciously opened the door. "It's Robin, is Yizan there?" "Yes, Ajian, please come in." Robin, dressed in intellectual attire, stepped aside. At this time, Robin saw that Ah was carrying one big and two small after exercising, a total of 3 women. "Who is it?" "Yo, Ajian." Awakened by the sound of entering the door, Yizan was talking lazily, his face still covered with newspapers, and laying lazily on the sofa in scruffy pajamas. Even if there were guests come, he has no intention of receiving it. Seeing Yizan's sloppy and lazy appearance, the female sailor-headed looked at Ajian with some embarrassment, and asked cautiously, "Ajian, are you sure this person is the person who can help us the most in the entire Kokoja village?" "Yes, although this person may have a bad personality, he is very reliable." Ajian nodded earnestly, but to be honest, when Ajian saw Yizan's sloppy appearance, he didn't believe it. Word, although it's true. Hearing the conversation between the two, Yizan finally got up lazily, and the newspaper covering his face also fell down because of Yizan's movements, revealing Yizan's appearance. Demon. The moment she saw Yizan's appearance, the female sea soldier looked at Yizan in shock and quickly protected her 2 girls. Demon. Ajian looked at the female sea soldier strangely. "Burmal, what are you talking about? His name is Yizan." Ajian's words did not make the female sea soldier relax in any way. She still looked at Yizan cautiously. Her body was trembling, but her eyes were firmer than ever before. "Yizan, the devil Yizan, the world's most wanted criminal, reward 2 billion gold. Why are you here?" Have you been recognized? It's really a pity," Yizan said with a smile, without any regret on his face. "So, Ajian, what's the matter with you coming here?" "We're here." "Hey, wait, Yizan, what did you just say? Are you recognized?" Ajian looked at Yizan blankly. "Are you really a wanted criminal?" "Yeah, when did I say I wasn't? My name is Yizan, and I was nicknamed a demon by the Navy." "Really? I'm obviously such a good person, and those in the Navy are blind. Call me a devil, I really don't know what to think." Yizan pouted, as if he had forgotten about the destruction of the Navy headquarters a few years ago. Yizan's words shocked Ajian, because he was in the weakest East China Sea. Ajian only knew about the pirates in the East China Sea, and the strongest were only about 20 million. As for the Great Root, he knew almost nothing. He had no idea at all, thinking that this man who has lived in Kokoyasi village for several years and usually has a good relationship is actually a wanted criminal with a reward of 2 billion berg. "So, why are you dazed? I haven't changed my appearance, why are you surprised? Hurry up, what's the matter, tell me, I have to sleep." Yizan's words made Ajian react. Although Belmer said that Yizan was a super wanted criminal with a reward of 2 billion, in recent years, he really felt that Yizan was a good person with a gentle personality. He was not afraid, but serious. Said, "In this way, Belmer is a new resident of Koko West Village. She wants to find a place to build a house. I recommended you here. After all, your place is the best place in the whole Koko West Village." Ajian's explanation was very clear, but behind him, Burmal's expression was still solemn. Roger's death ushered in the era of the great pirates. Countless pirates flocked to the sea. The emergence of newcomers diverted people's attention away from the old pirates. However, the light of some people is destined to be impossible to hide. Yizan is the most dazzling ray of light among them. The meteorite that covered the sky and the sun is still being recalled constantly. Chapter 43-Kiss Nami. Yizan didn't seem to know the deterrence brought by his identity. He glanced at Belmer and said softly, "It turns out that I want to settle down. It's easy to talk, you wait." He said, got up and got into the room, and soon, the sound of tinkling things sounded. After a long time, the movement of turning things became louder and louder, which caused several black lines to appear on Robin's face. She followed into the room, raised her fist, and knocked hard on Yizan's head. Thump. Ouch. Robin, why are you hitting me? Humph. Stupid brother Zahn, tell me what you are looking for. You've made a mess in the house, be careful that Mom and Sister Marina come back and teach you a lesson. After being taught by Robin, Yizan's face suddenly showed a silly smile, and with his gray-stained cat face, he looked silly and cute. Hey, I'm looking for house plans. When we built the house before, didn't we have a lot of design plans? As for the rest of the design plans, please refer to Burmel. Seeing Yizan's naive smile, Robin was helpless and walked into the room to help Yizan find it. Soon, she found a stack of information from Yizan's extremely messy items. Well, take it. Wow, as expected of my beloved little Robin, come and kiss. No, 487, you're so dirty, go wash. Before Robin could finish speaking, Yizan choked his lips in a domineering way. Few minutes later, Yizan walked out of the room with Robin with a face full of yuhi. Looking at Belmer who was sitting on the sofa, Yizan handed over a large stack of design drawings. Here, this is our design plan. If you like it, tell me directly, I will build it for you in minutes, let me know what you don't like, and I will fix it for you by the way. Quote. Belmer sluggishly took over the design plan that Yizan handed over. For the first time, he felt that the world was so subverted. Is this a devil? Tease me, the devil is like this. Looking at Yizan with a smile on his face, Belmer suddenly realized that Yizan is quite handsome. Bah, Belmo, what are you thinking? You're a sailor, and you want to kill pirates. But, he's so handsome. Belmer thought, his face turned a little yuhi, she subconsciously looking at the designs in hand, I found that these designs are top-notch. At this moment, Yizan has shifted his gaze to the two daughters behind Belmer. Is this Nami and Nokigo? Looking at the two pink little girls, a wicked smile flashed across Yizan's mouth. He slowly approached Nami and Nuo Chigao, squatted down, and pinched Nami's tender cheeks. Come on, little sister, cry. Giggle cluck. Yizan's words not only did not make Nami cry, but laughed, giggling. The short orange hair matched her little face with baby fat. How cute it looked. Yizan couldn't wait to kiss Nami on the face one bite. Do what you want to do is Yizan's life motto. He followed Nami to laugh, and then quickly moved up, haha, and kissed Nami on the cheek. Next to the huge and luxurious wooden villa, Yizan and everyone stood in an open space. Yizan raised the corner of his mouth in a comfortable mood, surrounded by Robin and Nami who were shy yuhi. Although Nami was only a little lowly, she still understood that Yizan kissed her, which made her very shy. Behind her, Bellmeyer was full of anger. She never expected this bastard to kiss her own daughter. Well, although Nami and Nakigao were adopted by her, they were still daughters. Next to Belmer, Aegean covered his head aggrievedly. Just now, Yizan beat Aegean for no reason, which made Aegean feel very wronged. Yizan, why did you hit me? Hearing Aegean's aggrieved cry, Yizan just curled his lips slightly. I beat you, shouldn't I beat you? Did you come into peek when I kissed Robin? No, how could I peek? Cut, who knows if you've seen it? I'll just assume you've seen it, aren't you convinced? I'm convinced. Aegean responded weakly, obviously he has been used to being bullied in recent years, but here. Yizan had already looked at the blueprint in his hand, and then waved at the crowd, get out of the way, and watch me build a house out of thin air. Yizan's words made everyone retreat into the distance again. At this moment, Yizan hand sealed with both hands, and the powerful chakra burst out. Combination ninjutsu, house maker. Bang. Wood, stone, sand, surging rapidly. After a while, a bright and spacious house was located next to Yizan's house. Everyone looked at the house that appeared like a dream in front of them, and some couldn't believe it. Robin also exclaimed, although I have seen it once, but seeing it again, I can't help but be amazed in my heart. Yizan heard the words and raised the corner of his mouth with a smile. Not bad, I'm getting more proficient with this ninjutsu. Yizan kept nodding his head, very satisfied with his own ninjutsu. Amid the exclamations of the crowd, Yizan led the crowd into the room. In the room, the wooden decoration had even been placed, which was extremely comfortable and seemed to make people feel happy. How is it? Yizan stretched out his hands and circled the room. Are you satisfied? This is really too precious, I can't accept it. Burmo swayed again and again, his tone a little embarrassed. Precious. Hearing Belmer's refusal, Yizan turned over a Byakugan angrily. You yourself saw the time it took me to build this room. It was only 2 seconds, where is the preciousness? Live with peace of mind. Calm down. Yizan said casually, and pulled Robin out of the room. This place will be yours in the future. If you have nothing to do, you are welcome to visit more. She took Robin back to her house, but Robin pulled Yizan hard. She puffed up her face angrily, and said with jealousy, Bad brother Zan, don't molest other women in front of me. Quote. Yizan was slightly surprised by Robin's words. In addition to his surprise, a smirk flashed across his mouth. Oh. That means, if I'm not in front of you, I can molest other women. Humph. Brother Zan hates it. Robin turned his head angrily, but he didn't object. This made Yizan feel emotional and admire himself secretly. The lowly development plan was successful. Robin's sensibleness made Yizan feel emotional. Thinking of the excitement, he hugged Robin and put the other hand on Robin's butt. Bad brother Zan, don't touch it. If Mom and Sister Marina come back and see it, be careful they teach you a lesson. Teach me a lesson. Hey. Chapter 44 Founding of Shichibukai. In the early morning, Yizan got up early. Of course, it was a very difficult thing to make a lazy person like Yizan get up early. Don't be like this, let me sleep again. Yizan muttered in a daze, but Robin and Genai kept pulling on him. Genai pinched Yizan's nose. Robin pinched Yizan's mouth. Unable to breathe, Yizan finally opened his eyes and sighed helplessly. 2 grinning goblins. After being woken up by the 2 girls, Yizan washed up lazily. Alvia had already prepared breakfast for the 4 of them. In a few years, Alvia had also become a good wife and good mother. Bah, don't try to hit me. You bastard. Olivia rolled her eyes at Yizan. She was often molested by Yizan in recent years, but as a noble scholar, she would not be so simple. Falling in love, she and Yizan are having a smart contest. So far, she has not conceded defeat. After breakfast, the 3 girls unanimously decided to visit the new neighbor Belmer's house. Although Yizan wanted to catch up, but facing the eyes of the 3 girls, he could only helplessly follow. Belmer and their 2 adopted daughters have already got up, and they are working hard to decorate their new home. The spacious and exquisite new home makes them very happy. Burmo, good morning. The 3 girls took Yizan and greeted Belmer with a smile. After seeing the arrival of the girls and Yizan, Belmer also smiled and greeted several people. After a short period of contact, Belmer also knew that Yizan was not as ferocious as rumored. Seeing Belmer's unguarded appearance, Yizan quickly approached, squatted down, and hugged Nami and Nuauchigao in his arms. Burmo, what are their names? Sister Nuauchigao, sister's name is Nami. Very good. Yizan nodded, and kissed Nuauchigao and Nami on the cheeks badly. The 2 little girls were cute and tender, and their faces were tender. Nami, Nuauchigao, come to my house to play. I have a lot of snacks in my house. It's delicious. Facing Yizan's bad behavior, Marina helplessly covered her forehead. Robin was a little jealous, but in front of so many people, she was not easy to get out. Olivia just snorted disdainfully, indicating that Belmer didn't react at all. She didn't know Yizan was a bad guy at all. Since Yizan liked her 2 adopted daughters, she was happy to do so. In this way, the mother and daughter Belmer started their lives in the village of Kokoja. Outside, as the era of the great pirates became more and more brilliant, the entire sea was surging, and the incomparably chaotic state made Sengoku extremely troublesome. Desperation, after consulting the Tianlong and the world government, Sengoku chose a very risky method, the establishment of the King's 7 Wuhai. As soon as this policy was released, there was an instant uproar. The Navy and the pirates can be said to be completely opposite, as if the police and thieves are opposed to each other, but now the Navy suddenly asks the pirates to help themselves to fight against the pirates. It is like forgiving the sins of the Zhongyang thief and letting him serve the police. Very funny. However, this policy is still implemented. After all, after the events of Yizan and Roger, the current Navy is very fragile, and the Tianlong and the world government have no time to take care of the Navy for the time being because of the fisherman Fisher. So this policy was still implemented, and once it was implemented, the allegiance of the 7 powerful pirates made the entire naval government finally gain a firm foothold. Has the world quieted down? Yizan looked at the sea, which had slowly become quiet because of Sengoku's Shichibukai policy, and sighed a little. For Yizan, the world is quiet, which is something Yizan likes very much. To be honest, Yizan doesn't want to see the world in turmoil. After all, Yizan is a peace-loving person. Roger's final choice made Yizan feel very embarrassed, and he also promised Roger that if there was no turmoil in the world after Roger's death, he would help Roger to cause turmoil in the whole world. Well, although Roger did not die in the end, he lived in seclusion with Raleigh, the king of the underworld, but in order to ensure that the era of the great pirates would not be destroyed, Roger would not take the initiative to appear in front of the world, and as a friend, Yizan also agreed to Luojia's request, help him set off a more intense era of pirates. And now, because of the reason that Sengoku proposed to go to the Shichibukai, the pirates all over the world have temporarily fallen into peace. Otherwise, just wait for a while. Seeing the happy smiles of the women at home, Yizan shook his head lazily, not wanting to act at all. It doesn't matter if you wait, after Luffy goes out to sea, the world will eventually set off a heat wave. Thinking of this, Yizan completely gave up the idea of disturbing the world. He was comfortably bullying the girls in Koko West Village. As time went by, his relationship with Nami, Nuochigao and Belmer became stronger and stronger. Come better. In this way, time passed slowly in Yizan's leisurely time. Yizan did not disturb the situation in the world. The Navy finally suppressed the momentum of the crazy pirates at sea after the implementation of the Chiwahai under the king. Soon, the Tianlong people jumped out again to show the power of the sky. Sun Pirates. A few years ago, Fisher climbed the continent of Yuhi with his bare hands and released a large number of slaves imprisoned by the Tianlong people. This is a great shame for the Tianlong people. For the past few years, the Tianlong people have been trying to kill Fisher. The time has finally come. With the establishment of Chiwahai, the strength of the Navy has also recovered a lot. Finally, the Tianlong people who have endured for many years ordered to shoot at Fisher. The Tianlong people ordered the Navy to take action. The Navy also urgently needs to establish its own power at this moment, and the result is self-evident. Fisher Tiger is dead, and the once prosperous Sun Pirates are disbanded. Looking at the newspaper in his hand, Yizan frowned slightly. The demise of the Sun Pirates indicates that the Navy has finally recovered slowly from the blow of the era of itself and the great pirates. Chapter 45_Marina's thoughts. But, what's the matter with me? Yizan smiled and casually kept the newspaper in his hand aside. I still don't want to move. Yizan turned his head and aimed his gaze at Alvia in the kitchen. At this moment, Alvia was washing the dishes. Because of bending over to wash the dishes, that perfect slender figure and ass happened to be displayed in front of Yizan. Yizan slapped his mouth a few times, walked off the sofa, and tiptoed towards go to the kitchen. Marina and Robin were playing at Belmer's house, and there was only Alvia at home. He came quietly behind Alvia like a ghost, watching Alvia focus on washing the dishes, and the corners of his mouth flickered. Smile. Alvia's appearance is very similar to Robin, and she also has beautiful silver hair and a perfect figure. The C cup is not too big, but not too small, which suits Yizan's aesthetics. Yizan quietly approached Alvia in this way, with his hands open, like a perverted pervert. If his face was twisted a little more, and the corners of his mouth drooled a little more, then he would be exactly the same as a pervert. Alvia was still washing the dishes, and she didn't notice the danger that was getting closer and closer behind her. At this moment, she had just washed a plate. She picked up the plate and checked it carefully, and found that the plate had been washed very cleanly. Then, her eyes were stunned. With the help of the light refracted by the plate, she saw a dark shadow slowly approaching her, because the refraction of the plate was very vague, and she could only see a dark shadow, which was getting closer and closer, just behind her. Ah! The sudden scream made Marina and Robin, who were playing at Belmer's house, stunned. The two women looked at each other and rushed towards the house in an instant. Boom! The door was opened, and Marina and Robin rushed into the room in a hurry. What caught their eyes were the broken dishes on the ground, Olivia with a panic-stricken face, and, standing behind Olivia, scratching her head, Yizan. Ah, Dad, what's the situation with you guys? Marina asked suspiciously, but Robin reacted instantly. She glared at Yizan lightly, and trotted to Alvia's side. Pretty took Alvia's hand. Mom. Robin. Alvia's mood finally stabilized after being pulled by Robin. She glared at Yizan angrily, and without speaking, pulled Robin out of the kitchen. Boom. Another loud noise came from Alvia's bedroom door. Yizan was a little embarrassed to hear this sound. He turned to look at Marina and found Marina's wicked smile. Little girl, what are you laughing at? Hee hee, laughing at Dad's failure, Tilda. Marina smiled wickedly, looked left and right, and found that there was no one else. Chao Shengsheng walked up to Yizan, raised her hand and hugged Yizan's neck. Dad, hug me. Marina's voice was soft and glutinous, which made Yizan subconsciously hug Marina in her arms. Seeing Yizan's behavior, she smiled smugly, stood on tiptoe, and lightly pecked Yizan's lips. Dad, tonight, sleep with me. Her eyes were full of strong desire, which made Yizan's heart jump involuntarily. Yizan took a few breaths and raised her fingers, tenderly. The knock on Marina's forehead. Little idiot, don't think about it. Go to Bellmeyer's house to find Nami and Nokigao to play with. I'll clean the broken dishes on the floor, go. He gently let go of Marina and patted her ass lightly. Marina's face yuhi pouted, and finally left the kitchen with some reluctance. Bad Dad, don't understand my intentions at all, Days went by like this, and since the sneak attack on Olivia failed that day, Olivia's attitude towards Yizan was a little strange. According to her character, she should be very angry, but she was not too angry, but often used a very disdainful tone to despise some of Yizan's usual behaviors. Although her tone was disdainful, Yizan could hear it. She didn't feel that kind of real disdain, as if everything was fake. So, this belongs to the dead Tsunere. Well, let's not talk about Alvia for the time being. Here, although Yizan did promise Roger to help him cause chaos in the world, once the turmoil starts, the planning required is definitely not something that can be achieved simply. Everything in this world can be compared to waves, sometimes high, sometimes low. There is no wave that rises forever, and there is no wave that falls forever. People's emotions can also be compared to waves. After experiencing the initial turmoil in the era of the great pirates, whether it is a pirate or a navy, deep down in my heart, I hope to be quiet for a while, and this quietness does not mean the end, but for the sake of the second wave, be a buffer. The second wave is the legendary main rising wave. According to Yizan's understanding of the original work, the first falling wave will last for several years. In these few years, the whole world will fall into a great calm, and when the second wave rises, it just so happens that Luffy goes out to sea. The time is right and the place is right. Luffy's existence is destined, and these doomed troublesome things should be left to Luffy to do. With this thought in mind, Yizan lazily stayed in Kokoyashi village and enjoyed a good time of flirting. Day by day, Kokoyashi village is calm and warm. The East China Sea is the hometown of Roger, the Pirate King. Although Roger died and the Roger Pirates disbanded in 3.1, the members of the Roger Pirates are still there. In addition to the reason for Roger's death, all the big pirates know. Therefore, the East China Sea is a sphere of influence of Roger that many big pirates acquiesce in, and no one is involved in the East China Sea. Of course, these are talking about big pirates, and some low-end pirates still don't know the various reasons, and will choose to occupy the East China Sea. Starting today, this is the site of our evil dragon pirates. With the landing of a murloc, a pirate group entered the village of Coco West. It's a pirate. Look for guards. The crowd called out and quickly headed towards the security department of Coco Yaxi village, and soon found a GN. Chapter 46-Evil Dragon Pirates. What? There are pirates? A GN was taken aback for a moment, and immediately equipped with a police baton uniform, with his good prestige, led a group of villagers armed with weapons and rushed to the shore. Seeing a GN rushing over with a group of villagers, Along, who was standing leisurely on the bow of the boat, suddenly became angry. Bastards! A group of waste humans dares to fight against us murlocs, come on. Let them know how powerful our murlocs are. In an instant, the powerful murlocs rushed towards Ajien and the other villagers, knocking all the villagers to the ground in an instant. Go find Yizan. Ajien, who was seriously injured and fell to the ground, shouted, and a guard who was not seriously injured immediately got up and ran to the village, rushing towards the place where Yizan lived. When looking for Yizan in this village name, Yizan was staying at home comfortably. Yizan opened his mouth, and Robin in his arms sat quietly, holding the fruit on the table and handing it to Yizan. That young master's life made Yizan very comfortable. And at this moment, tuck tuck tuck, there was a knock on the door, and Robin, who was in Yizan's arms, was about to get up, but was hugged tightly by Yizan. Don't go. 30 Seeing Yizan enjoying ultimate, Robin shook his head with a yuhi face, and broke Yizan's hand. Okay, brother Zan, what if something really happened? Can something happen? Although Yizan said this, he still did not continue to hug Robin. Robin just got up and opened the door. As soon as I opened the door, I saw a guard shouting in panic, "The evil dragon pirates are attacking." Ajien asked me to come to Yizan. Brother Zan. As soon as Robin finished speaking, Yizan was already standing in front of the guard. A green light in his hand had enveloped the guard, and the scarred body healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. And it wasn't until this time that Robin woke up suddenly, this badass brother who was smiling and laughing all day, but a man who shook the whole world. I'll go first. He patted Robin's head, the figure disappeared instantly, and he used the technique of Harishan directly to come to the shore. When he arrived at the shore, he found that the villagers had all fallen to the ground and wailed, and the only one standing was Ajien, who was covered in blood. And Ajien's enemy is the boss of the dragon pirates, Aaron. Humans, it's you who have to resist. Since that's the case, I have to send you to hell. Boom. With a loud bang, Aaron's attack directly hit the ground, damaging the ground. Huh. Aaron looked at the empty ground around him and glanced around. He was surprised to find that a man was standing 50 meters to the left, holding a blood-covered Ajien in his hand. Aaron looked at Yizan. Yizan also looked at Aaron, looked at Aaron's ugly murloc face. Yizan curled his lips in disdain, and said with disgust, "So ugly." Yizan's disgusting appearance reminded Aaron of all kinds of contempt and different treatment of murlocs by humans. He suddenly widened his eyes, and his anger was like a volcano erupting. Zan kill to go. Tisk. Obviously it's a fish, and I'm still angry. I'm a murloc. Asshole. Go to hell. Be careful. The villagers in Kiki Yaxi village watched in horror as Aaron attacked Yizan. Yizan just yawned lazily and did nothing to Aaron's attack. Go to hell. Bang. There was a dull sound that sounded like a dull knife slicing through the cowhide. Yizan yawned again as he looked at the skin that had been cut on his body but did not break the defense. Hey, what are you doing? Yizan patted Aaron on the shoulder lazily. Are you hitting me? Ignore, completely ignore, and truly ignore. Aaron could see clearly. Yizan did not take himself seriously in his eyes. That's the look. Facing Yizan's ignorance, Aaron's heart became more and more crazy, so crazy that his entire face was contorted together. The Murloc race looks very rare in the world of One Piece, but its real situation is sad. Murlocs have always been regarded as lowly aliens by humans, and they are not even allowed to participate in world government meetings. Therefore, Aaron is very concerned about the contempt of humans, just like Yizan is now. Click. With a light sound, Aaron took off his Kiba teeth directly. Hi. As if frightened by Aaron's actions, Yizan directly covered his Kiba gums. Does your Kiba hurt? Do you want to pull out the Kiba? It's so pitiful, really. How about you? Let me help you. Don't worry. Although my medical skills are not as good as my wife's, it is absolutely no problem to treat Kiba pain. Bastard. Go to hell. Aaron growled, waving Kiba, and attacked Yizan directly. Hey, I won't fight you. I attack with Kiba teeth. It's so dirty, it will get infected with bacteria, and if it's wrong, you will get rabies. Yizan hurriedly waved his hand, and his figure flashed, dodging Aaron's attack. Ah! Aaron roared and continued to attack. As for Yizan, he kept avoiding and despising him again and again, making Aaron almost unbearable. Look at my range attack. Aaron yelled. Shark on D407 ARTS. Yizan dodged easily again. Shark on gear car. This large-scale attack is a bit like a rain of flowers in the sky. Yizan frowned slightly and looked at the crowd behind him. You overplayed. Game over. Thump. With a soft sound, Yizan's right hand easily blocked Aaron's head and blocked Aaron in front of him. That's it, Yizan said quietly, looking at Aaron with a twisted face. If you are familiar with Yizan, you will know that Yizan is serious now. Yizan is very approachable only when he is playing around, but once he is serious, the Yizan who can shake the whole world at a young age will let everyone know his horror. Oh, Aaron roared, continuing to shoot at Yizan. Seeing this, Yizan held the struggling Aaron's head in one hand, and put away the other hand. Punch. Boom. A huge roar exploded, and a deep ditch seemed to be blown out by a bomb, spreading straight to the sea, directly blocking the pirate ship of the Sea Dragon pirates. And Aaron, also following the broken pirate ship, sank to the bottom of the sea, completely lost consciousness. Chapter 47_someone informs. Cut. Yizan shook his hand casually, looked at the street destroyed by him, and pursed his lips. I forgot to use the face fruit again. I haven't fought for a long time, and I have forgotten the basic literacy of fighting. Yizan slapped his forehead and said, but forget it, everything that should be upgraded has been upgraded anyway. On the interface of Yizan looking at his face fruit, the 3-color domineering is already the full level of S rank. Compared with the full level 3-color domineering, the Navy 6th form is a bit embarrassing. Up to now, Yizan has not exploded all the S-level Navy 6th form skill books. Now Yizan only has Moon Step, Iron Nugget and Lan Foot. And Yizan's 3-color domineering and 3 Naval 6 style have been upgraded to the top level by Yizan. And Yizan's trouble now is that there is no high-level skill book to explode. When Yizan was thinking about this, he didn't notice the surprise and fear in the eyes of everyone in Koko Yaxi village. Humans are afraid of being powerful, of beings beyond their control. But now Yizan has obviously reached this level. When Yizan came back to his senses, everyone fled as far as they could see. At this moment, Yizan was a little stunned. What happened to these people? Afraid of yourself? What's wrong with you? Yizan stepped forward. And it was Yizan's action that instantly made everyone scream. Ah, devil! Devil Yizan is in our Koko West village. Help! Yizan's actions made the residents of Koko Yaxi village, who had always been cautious, instantly turn pale and fled in panic. Although there are some rational people who don't want to do this, they still have to leave the place due to the flow of people. In place, Yizan's face was also a little bad. He sighed softly, and returned to his residence with little interest. What's wrong? Robin looked strangely at Yizan who lacked interest. It's nothing. Yizan came to Robin and hugged Robin in his arms. We've been here for a while, how about it? Do you want to go on a trip that just goes away? A trip that just goes away. Robin was stunned, his eyes became more and more puzzled. Brother Zahn, what happened? It's okay, it's just that some things exceeded my expectations. Yizan said with little interest. I want to leave for a while, do you want to come with me? Of course, I will go wherever Brother Zahn goes. Looking at Robin in his arms, Yi Xuanmen finally smiled. He quickly approached, and pressed Robin's lips gently. After a while, Marina, Alvia, including Belmer, Nami, and Nakigao all came. After hearing Yizan's words, Marina would of course follow Yizan. Although Alvia was a little reluctant, she is a smart woman, she nodded obediently, and even started to make suggestions for Yizan. We need boats, food, a navigator, and... When Alvia was thinking seriously, suddenly, a flashing sound sounded. Tuk tuk. Who? Me, Jian. Hearing Jian's voice outside the door, Yizan opened the door. Jian's character is honest and honest. In recent years, he has a good relationship with Yizan's family. What's the matter, Jian, what's the matter? Yizan asked. When he found that Jian had many injuries on his body, he waved and threw a slap of sage art to heal Jian's injuries. Thank you. But, Yizan, I'm very sorry, I'm here to inform you, please leave quickly. I don't know if it was the ungrateful bastard who told the Navy that you were here, the Navy will be here soon. Jian said to Yizan quickly, his face was full of worry and anger towards the informer. Seeing Jian's worried eyes, Yizan sighed softly and shook his head speechlessly. Is that so? Yizan felt a little uncomfortable. Without him, the evil dragon pirates would rule Coco West Village, and the whole village would fall into a miserable life. When he first stayed in Coco West Village, he knew that the evil dragon pirates would come. In the past few years, he has been living his life in hiding, and his life has been leisurely, but he did not expect that these villagers would eventually report themselves. That's all. Yizan waved his hand. There are good people and bad people everywhere. There are loyal people and ungrateful people, and some people such as Belmer's mother and daughter and Jian are not bad. It is indeed unfair to assert that the entire Coco West Village. Are we leaving? Marina looked at Yizan. Would you like to tell Belmer? Well, you and Jian go and tell Bermel that I will put away the house. Yizan looked at the room in front of him and said to Marina. Put it away? Robin asked in surprise, a surprise in his eyes. In fact, Robin was reluctant to leave this quiet and peaceful place in his heart, but compared to this place, Robin was more willing to be with Yizan, but Robin did not expect that Yizan could put away the house. Idiot, don't forget how this house was built. It took me less than a minute to build it successfully, so naturally I can put it away. Marina, Jian, go and inform Bermel. If they come, I'll be almost ready. As Yizan said, he had already begun to draw and seal it. For Yizan, although it is not easy to seal a house on the scroll, it is not difficult either. Yizan was about to put away the house. Here, Marina and Jian also came to Belmer's house. What's the matter please? After such a period of contact, Belmer, Nami and Nuauchigao had a very good impression of Yizan. Yizan is gentle, humorous, funny, kind, powerful, handsome, and can be called a perfect man. Sometimes, Belmer even fantasizes about being ashamed with Yizan, but now Yizan is leaving without warning. I'm not very clear about the specific situation, but it should be related to the pirates coming to Coco West Village this time. Marina said. It's all my fault. Chapter 48_Go to see. Beside Marina, Jian was holding his hair in pain, looking very depressed. Pirates are very strong, our guard is not an opponent at all. In order to reduce casualties, I asked Yizan to deal with those pirates. As a result, Yizan's identity was removed by Coco Yaxi village. The residents of the village saw it through, and then someone gave the news to the Navy, and now the Navy has come to the village of Coco West. Jian said painfully. If it wasn't for me, Yizan would not have taken action. If he did not take action, people would not know that he had such a powerful force, and naturally they would not want to go to the demon Yizan, nor would the Navy. It's all my fault. Ajian's words made Nami's face very angry. She clenched her fists tightly and shouted angrily at Ajian, "Why are you doing this? Brother Zan saved you, how can you retaliate?" "Okay, Nami, the most important thing now is how to keep Brother Zan." Nuao Chigao's words made Nami suddenly wake up. Nami didn't say a word, and immediately rushed out of the house and rushed in the direction of Yizan. As soon as they arrived at Yizan's mansion, everyone saw a semicircle enchantment covered with sealed texts covering Yizan's room. In front of him, Yizan spread out a scroll and pressed it with one hand, while the other hand it as a one-handed hand seal. Seal. In the sight of everyone's astonishment, the room in front of Yizan was instantly absorbed into the scroll in his hand. Success. Yizan got up and rolled up the scroll in his hand. "Nami, you're here, Belmer and Nuao are here too, just in time for me to say goodbye to you," Yizan said while looking at everyone with a smile. "No," Nami yelled, like a kitten, and threw herself directly into Yizan's arms. "Ah," Yizan smiled and gently rubbed Nami's hair. "Brother Zan, I don't want you to leave." Nami blinked expectantly. "Aren't you very powerful? You can defeat the entire Navy, I don't want you to leave." "Okay, don't make trouble." Yizan squeezed Nami's face with a smile. "If I don't leave, the entire Kokoja village will probably be destroyed in the aftermath of my battle. Darling, come down, I want to leave, No. Nami hugged Yizan tightly, not letting go. Seeing Nami like this, Yizan felt a little soft-hearted. He lowered his head and kissed Nami's forehead, and said softly, "My dear, if I fight the Navy here, Kokoja village will really be killed in my battle. Destroyed." Yizan's words made Nami no longer say anything. Nami knew Yizan's powerful strength from everyone's talk very early on. However, even so, Nami still didn't want to be separated from Yizan. After all, what she heard in her ears was not as good as what she saw with her own eyes. Yizan and Namila were pulling, and Nami's tears fell directly. "Yeah, don't cry, be fine, I'm not leaving." Seeing Nami's pear blossoms with rain, Yizan hurriedly patted Nami's back. In Yizan's heart, Kekusia the village is just like that. Nami is more important than the number of Kokoyashi villages. "It's better not to do this." Belmo came over at this time and said softly, "Or, let Nami follow you." Belmer's words surprised Yizan. He looked at Belmer in surprise, and Belmer smiled. "Nami will have a future with you. She is an adventurous child." Belmer's words made Yizan look at Nami, but it happened to meet Nami's surprised eyes. "Really, can I leave with you?" Nami looked at Yizan in surprise. "Nami is adventurous, as many people know. Are you really going to leave with me?" "Yeah." Nami nodded heavily. "Can I really leave with you?" "If you will." "Yes, I'll go with you." Koko West Village. Several large warships came to Koko West Village and launched an investigation. These navies came for only one purpose, which was to investigate whether Yizan was in Koko West Village, and the results of the investigation exceeded everyone's expectations. Yizan was actually in Koko West Village. However, it is clear that although this group of navies who are not favored by everyone has found Yizan's location, by the time these navies have passed by, the building will be empty. Well, to be precise, even the building is no longer there. All you can see is an open space standing there quietly. Send a message to the Navy headquarters. The generals who led the Navy came to Belmer's house. Yizan and Belmer were neighbors who lived together, so they naturally entered the Navy's site, but this investigation found a comparison between Belmer and Yizan. Close, and as a sailor whose organization has been scattered. Bring Belmer to the Navy headquarters. Following the words of the phone bug, Belmer and Nochigao also left Koko West Village and went to the Navy headquarters. Belmer and Nuao were taken away, but because there was no danger, the 6 paths level space ceiling technique that Yizan engraved in their hearts did not trigger. Therefore, Yizan did not know that Belmer and Nuauchigao were it has been brought to the Navy headquarters by the Navy. This is nonsense. Yizan has lived in Kokoja village for so many years. Once the Navy finds out, Belmer and Nuauchigao will definitely become the #1 suspects. As a man with high IQ, Yizan certainly has protective measures. When Belmer or Nakigao were attacked, he would instantly sense it and use the technique of Hiraishin to come to the two girls. Of course, when the seal was portrayed, Burma was so shy that he fainted, because the seal must be engraved in the heart to be effective, and the sealing technique is very complicated. Nothing left. Ahem. Although Belmer was too shy, she didn't refuse. Yizan also understood a little about this. He knew that Belmer had a very good impression of him. Yizan started a pleasant sea trip like this, with no destination, just sailing at will. The voyage at will gave Nami a deeper understanding of the weather, and Yizan also knew that Nami had the talent of a navigator, so he found the books collected from the O'Hara Library in the storage scroll one by one. As the world's largest, of course, there is navigation knowledge in the library and books collected, and it is the world's top navigation knowledge. As for the ship that sailed, in line with the concept of saving first, this ship was built by Yizan with Mokudan wood style. Seriously, using Mokudan wood style with Yizan's strength is stronger than ordinary steel and is enough to sail at sea. So, how long is our total flight time? Alvia asked. I don't know. When you get tired of it, just end the trip. But with my most handsome, powerful, humorous, and gentle man in the world, you will never get tired of it. Tilda. Bah. Chapter 49 _ Battle of Wits. Years passed by in a flash. Yizan set out from the East China Sea with the women, and with a very leisurely attitude, spent a few years around the entire One Piece world. In the past few years, Nami's sailing knowledge has been rapidly improved at an unimaginable speed. With O'Hara's books to study, Nami has mastered the ability to simulate the weather. In the past few years, Luffy has finally grown up, but so far Yizan has not been in contact with Luffy. He knows that as long as there is a fate, the two will know each other one day. Yizan Tenten has been busy fighting wits with Nami. Nami finally grew up, the result. This cute girl became more lively and smart. Every time Yizan wanted to do something to Robin or Alvia, Nami would rush out to stop Yizan's actions. Robin, let's sleep together tonight. Yizan came to Robin badly and said with a smile. Okay. Robin also smiled and looked at Yizan, but the teasing contained in the smile made Yizan flip a Byakugan. Robin seems to have developed an interest in Yizan and Nami's wits and bravery these days. Although he can't resist Yizan's push, but with Nami, Robin will never be with Yizan. Sleep together. Not only is Nami a naughty ghost, but Alvia has never given in, but the more this is, the more Yizan's desire to conquer is stimulated, and as time goes by, Yizan feels more and more. Hancock is grown up and can eat, but he has been playing for the past few years and has very little time to find her. Every time he goes to find her, the idiot Marina has to block Hancock. Marina's meaning is obvious: if you want to eat Hancock, you have to eat me first. For this, Yizan felt very helpless and could only continue to keep Hancock's first time. Robin has also grown up, because she likes to read books. She is full of intellectual charm. Yizan actually wanted to eat Robin several times, but every time he was blocked by Nami and Alvia. So I'm going to eat you all one day. Especially Alvia, you wait for me. Yizan waved his fist viciously. He enjoyed this kind of confrontation very much. Nami and Alvia are fishing in the stern. Marina is sleeping. Baby, come. Under the deck watchtower, Yizan and Robin were hiding in a corner. He smiled wickedly and hugged Robin tightly. If you look closely, you can see that one of Yizan's hands has gone inside Robin's clothes. Brother Zan. Robin gasped, her cheeks flushed with yuhi. She had already responded to Yizan's movements when she grew up. She felt like a lot of ants were crawling all over her body, so she took the initiative to hug Yizan's body, some unnatural twists and turns. Yizan's smile became more and more evil, his hands became more and more dishonest, and he was about to take the next step, but at this time. "Brother Zahn, you are bullying Sister Robin again." With a loud shout, a bikini-clad girl suddenly fell from the sky, smashing straight at Yi Zan's head. "Hey, hey!" Yi Zan hurriedly followed the girl who fell from the sky. "Nami, you idiot, don't jump down from the sky. What if I don't catch it?" Yi Zan looked at Nami in his arms in shock, his tone full of reproach. Nami did this because once Nami accidentally fell on the observation deck and was caught by Yi Zan, and then Nami fell in love with this feeling. At first, she pretended to fall down accidentally, but after arriving, she simply opened up. "Jump off the lookout." This made Yi Zan very helpless. Because Yi Zan's strength is extremely high, the strength of her body are extremely strong, and although Nami has been trained by Yi Zan, her martial strength value is much higher than that of ordinary people, but she is still very weak compared to Yi Zan. Every time he picks up Nami, Yi Zan needs to carefully control his own power. After all, Nami herself needs Yi Zan to protect her, because without Yi Zan, Nami will not die or be seriously injured when she falls. Such a meticulous operation is not Yi Zan at all. Zan likes it, very tired. "I've decided that I must make you completely stronger, at least I don't want me to work hard to catch you." Yi Zan put Nami down, looked at Nami seriously and said, "No, I just like being protected by Brother Zan." Nami smiled brightly, hugged Yi Zan's neck, and buried her head in Yi Zan's arms like a kitten. In fact, Nami is a little underestimated when it comes to strength. Using her knowledge of climate and some of Yi Zan's seal scrolls, she can use extremely terrifying moves, many of which have even reached the level of Brigadier General. Don't look at it as a Brigadier General, you must know that Nami is just an ordinary girl, that is to say, with the knowledge of climate, Nami can explode 100 times the effect of her own strength. Nami has such fighting power, firstly, her climate knowledge, secondly, Yi Zan stored a lot of ninjutsu in the sealed scroll. In Hokage Ninja, a Chidori cooperated with Kaden, fire style, and was used by Sasuke who only knew a little about weather principles, and directly created an S-level Raiden, thunder style Kirin. And now, there is Nami, a super climate genius, with the ninjutsu in dozens of seal scrolls, you can combine hundreds of more powerful attacks. Therefore, Nami said that she must rely on Yi Zan for protection. Nami, who has the seal scroll, is weaker than Truth and much stronger than Robin and Alvia. The bullying of Robin was interrupted by Nami again. Yi Zan was not angry. He hugged Nami and Robin and sat on the side of the boat watching the sea chatting. Sound. "Brother Zan, I'm hungry." Yi Zan was stunned by Nami's words. As if thinking of something, he scratched his head helplessly. "Baby, I can't do anything if I'm hungry. We've eaten up all the food, I've been playing with you recently, and I forgot to buy it." They eaten. When she heard that she had nothing to eat, Nami pouted. "I can't eat the food that Brother Zan made, I'm not happy." "Then are we going to dock?" Robin asked, tidying up his clothes from time to time, but Yi Zan just messed up too much, especially the D cup inside, the cup buttons were taken off by Yi Zan. According to the calculation of the permanent pointer and the nautical chart, the next island should be arriving soon. Since there is no food on board, let's buy ingredients on the next island. Chapter 50 _ It seems that he wants to get Yi Zan drunk. Seriously, in the past few years, Yi Zan and the girls have finished playing the entire Great Route, and they returned to the East China Sea 3 months ago. Before heading to the next island to supply ingredients, Yi Zan happened to find a restaurant at sea. When this group of unbelievably beautiful women walked into the restaurant on the sea, the whole restaurant was stunned. Nami, Robin, Marina, Alvia, different styles of beauty, so beautiful. "Bring up the best food you have here." Yi Zan came to a position by the window carelessly, holding Nami in his left hand and Marina in his right, with Robin and Alvia walking behind, as if the two female secretaries instantly raised Yi Zan several grades. Not only the people who ate, but also the waiter in the restaurant was stunned by the beauty of the 4 girls. He stared blankly, the elder of Haraziliu. Boom! With a soft sound, Yizan slapped the menu on the waiter's head. "Whose woman do you dare to look at?" Yizan said lazily, and the natural aura made the waiter hurriedly lower his head. "Sorry, this guest, it's my rudeness. Don't be fooling around here, hurry up and serve the food, I hope your food here can satisfy me." Yizan's tone is arrogant and domineering, and he must be a powerful person who can bring 4 stunning beauties. As a waiter in the sea restaurant, he has a lot of knowledge, and he has already guessed in his heart that Yizan must be a certain member of the Navy. The second generation of officials, and they are high officials. "This customer, please rest assured that although our maritime restaurant is not as good as Bharati, it can also be ranked in the top 5 in the East China Sea, which will definitely satisfy you." The waiter bowed respectfully, bent down and took a few steps back before turning to leave. "I have to admit that in terms of attitude, this restaurant is really good. Brother Zan is so domineering." Seeing Yizan's arrogant and domineering look, Nami was full of disgust, but when she saw Yizan's helpless appearance, she laughed again, giggling, "Get up, all right, don't be angry, I just like Brother Zan's domineering look." Cut. Nympho, drooling on the floor. Yizan turned over by a Kugan. This Nami was too lively and too cute to bear. Don't look at Nami saying that she is so crazy, and she also acts as if her voiceless body is soft and easy to be pushed down, but when it came to the night, Nami took Alvia to prepare early, and the strict defense made Yizan had no way of attacking Robin at all. Fortunately, Marina has learned to be good now, and will sleep with her every night, but this little girl is also troublesome, and often does strange things while she is asleep, such as. When Yizan thought about this, the waiter had already brought many meals to Yizan's table. "Please use." "Yeah." Yizan nodded casually, "Let's go, I don't need you here." Facing Yizan's domineering, the waiter bowed again and slowly backed away. After the waiter left, Yizan took out a storage scroll, tapped it lightly, and accompanied by a burst of smoke, appeared on the storage scroll. A bottle of Yuhi wine. Although there is no food on board, we still have wine in storage. Yizan's words made Marina and Nami's eyes light up, especially Marina. She quickly grabbed the Yuhi wine, opened the cork, and the rich aroma of the wine was scattered. "Dad, drink." She smiled brightly, and quickly filled the wine glass in front of Yizan, and then poured some for Nami, Robin and Alvia, but only a little for herself. "Huh." Yizan blinked his eyes suspiciously in the face of Junai's strange behavior. He was still thinking, and Marina had already picked up the cup. "Cheers." Facing the enthusiasm of Junai, Yizan was puzzled and could only clink glasses with the girls. He was about to take a sip, but Junai glared at Yizan fiercely. "Dad, drink it all in one go." Yizan's words made Yizan helpless. Facing the threat of his naughty daughter, he could only drink up the Yuhi wine in one breath. This is the Yuhi wine collected on the Yuhi wine island of the Great Airway the year before. "Dad is amazing. Come on, keep drinking." Marina blinked slyly and filled Yizan's wine glass again. Although Yizan was inexplicable, he could only continue to drink in the face of his daughter's enthusiasm. Just when everyone was happily eating and drinking, a wretched, trivial voice appeared, instantly disturbing the atmosphere of the crowd. "Beauty, what kind of wine is he who doesn't know anything? Come to me, I'm here for the world government and the world's nobles to use the wine." An ugly man dressed in a navy uniform came to Nami. He was slightly empty eyes full of evil. "Go away." Nami glanced at the other party with disdain, not being polite at all. Although she is a cute and lively girl, it depends on who she is. She can act like a kitten in Yizan's arms, but she is full of malicious strangers. She won't give a good face. Nami's disdain made the man's face change slightly. He stared at Nami coldly, with a sharp tone. "Little girl, do you know who I am? Whoever you are guilty of disturbing my meal with Brother Zan." Nami stood up abruptly and grabbed the man's neck. After several years of training, her melee combat ability was also passed down by Yizan. Boom! With a loud bang, a big hole was broken in the restaurant on the sea, and after throwing the 3.8 square, Nami shrank her neck, stuck out her tongue cutely, and sat back on the chair. Seeing Nami changing from a tigress to a kitten in an instant, Yi-zan was completely speechless. He raised his finger and tapped Nami lightly, causing Nami to whimper softly. "Brother Zan, you hurt me." "Bah, I just touched you lightly. Don't act like a spoiled child." "Ying ying ying. Sister Marina, Sister Robin, Sister Alvia, you have to decide for me, Brother Zan bullies me." Although all the girls knew that Nami was pretending to be pitiful, but they all looked at Yi-zan anxiously. At that moment, Yi-zan sighed lightly, took Nami into his arms, and rubbed it gently. Her forehead. Chapter 51-Big Devil. "Okay, it's all my fault, I shouldn't knock you on the head. And the few of you, stay together if you can, otherwise I'll." "What are you going to do tonight, pervert?" Alvia snorted in disdain, and turned her head to ignore Yi-zan. He. Robin just smiled, raised his eyebrows indiscernibly, and deliberately provoked. "Dad, I don't mind." Marina smirked, placing her hand under the dining table directly on Yi-zan's lap, pinching it lightly, and moving to the middle. "Idiot." Yi-zan patted Marina's hand lightly, and had nothing to do with this bad daughter. What else did he want to say? Suddenly, the entire ship restaurant shook violently. Boom! The shells exploded in the nearby sea, causing the ship to shake constantly. After a while, a large number of people swarmed in. "Robbery! Bastards! Who dares to rob? Chefs, get your weapons!" The captain of the restaurant rushed out of the kitchen angrily. He was wearing a tall chef hat and holding a polished steel knife. He had a fat head and big ears. Boom! With a loud bang, the seemingly fierce restaurant captain was punched by the leading pirates. As if he felt that he was very good, he raised his head arrogantly and said loudly, "We belong to the Erida pirates. All people, hold your head and squat down." Yi-zan, who was planning to watch the show, frowned when he heard the Erida pirates, and walked slowly to the pirates. "What are you doing? Don't want to live? Squat down." Looking at the fierce and cruel eyes of the other party, Yi-zan was slightly taken aback, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. "Sorry, I seem to have old cold legs and can't squat down. Would you like to help me?" Yi-zan's words made the restaurant captain on the ground very frightened. He struggled to raise his head and whispered to Yi-zan, "Don't resist, these people are very powerful." "It doesn't matter." Yi-zan smiled kindly at the restaurant captain, then looked at the pirates again, and even bent his knees on purpose. "Look, I can't bend anymore." Yi-zan's tone contained a hint of teasing and a hint of sarcasm. That casual feeling made the headed pirate look hideous. He suddenly pulled out the saber around his waist and placed it on Yi-zan's neck at once. "Boy, you brought it on yourself." He smiled wickedly. The short knife in his hand was about to slash. The next second. Boom! The restaurant broke through a big hole again. The first pirate, who vomited blood, flew out and fell into the sea in the distance. Soon, the seawater turned Yuhi color. One move to kill the pirates in seconds. Yi-zan's strength shocked everyone in the restaurant. At this moment, Yi Shuenkai ignored everyone's shock. He walked leisurely in front of the remaining pirates, and the terrifying momentum made the pirates feel their feet. Soft, he knelt down with a puff. "Are you from the Erida pirates?" "Ooh, _____ impersonating." The pirate cried, but there were no tears in his eyes. Yi-zan's mouth cracked, and he slowly raised his hand. "So, since it's a fake, it's useless, let's kill you guys." Don't kill us. We are from the Erida pirates." Captain Erida was defeated by a Straw Hat Boy, and the pirates are about to be disbanded. "We are the remnants of defeated soldiers left behind, and we want to get some panchuan at home. Please do your best, sir, and let us go." This time, the talking pirate was really crying. Seeing the other party cry, Yi-zan was stunned for a moment, before he realized that Luffy went out to sea. Thinking of this, Yi-zan already had an idea. He kicked the pirate in front of him, turned and returned to his dining table. "A very interesting thing has happened. From now on, our sailing tourism plan is officially over. We are now looking for a person. I am going to nurture him. He is the child I have called. Regarding Yizan's inexplicable words, although the girls did not understand, they did not object. Anyway, they would go wherever Yizan went, which was inevitable. Yizan heard the words and threw away the pirate in his hand. Let's go then. He was too lazy to eat. Yizan was about to leave with the girls, but at this moment, the Navy man who had been thrown out by Nami came in slowly. Stop. Do you guys want to leave? Hey, what about you? Are you a wanted criminal? He said. He didn't want Yizan to leave like this. After all, his identity was revealed and his face was lost. How could he be so easily let Yizan leave? He is a major in the East China Sea branch, and he feels that, in his own capacity, he can definitely scare the other party. Yeah, I'm a wanted criminal. Yizan turned his head with a smile and looked at the admiral. His tone was as if he was talking about something as common as eating and drinking. Wanted criminal. In an instant, everyone looked at Yizan in astonishment. Under normal circumstances, wanted criminals are rarely seen. Unexpectedly, this gentle, irritable and perfect blend of men turned out to be wanted criminals. And then, Yizan's words made everyone who was shocked by 170 immediately startled, dumbfounded. Are you looking for a wanted criminal? I'm in the Navy, and I have an obligation to arrest you. Well, my name seems to be a devil, right? The name your Navy gave me is so ugly. What a devil, how can such a handsome man like me be a devil? It should be the elegant and turbid son of Shihia. Yi Xuanzi lovingly tossed her hair, watching the Navy Rear Admiral say so. In an instant, Admiral stood there dumbfounded. His mind was blank. It felt like you were fishing in a pond, only to find that you caught a big shark from your own pond. That feeling, that's sour and refreshing. Tisk tisk. Anyway, Yizan was scared to pee when he saw the heart of the Navy Rear Admiral who didn't take this huge blow. Before Yizan entered the restaurant, although some people had doubts, they didn't think it was really the devil Yizan. After all, the devil Yizan was a big devil with a bounty of 1 billion. Just like ordinary people saw a man walking on the street, and people who look a lot like Obama will definitely say at the first time, wow, this person really looks like Obama, and the first impression is definitely not that this person is Obama. But now, Yizan revealed his identity. Combined with Yizan's appearance, everyone knew that Akatsuki was a super invincible demon in front of him. Chapter 52_West Lob Village. Quiet, eerily quiet, countless people stared blankly, unable to react. Until the moment Yizan turned around and left. Ah! Demon! With a scream, countless screams quickly spread to the entire maritime restaurant, and the Navy was already slumped on the ground. He already remembered that many years ago, when he was a child, watch live TV at home with your parents. The powerful naval headquarters was destroyed by a terrifying man. Even from the TV, he could feel the indescribable fear. It had been too long, and because he was in the weakest East China Sea, he would never have imagined that he had one day, I will meet the demon Yizan. Devil Yizan, why did I meet the demon Yizan? It's over. I just molested his woman. I'm dead, I'm dead. He was paralyzed on the ground talking to himself like a fool, and the people in the restaurant were running wildly, and he was rolled to the ground. If it was before, he would arrest the group of civilians on the charge of attacking the admiral, but at this moment, he doesn't care about these little things at all. He has completely fallen into the TV picture from many years ago. Meteorite. Meteorite is coming. I'm going to be killed by a meteorite. The devil Yizan will definitely summon a meteorite to destroy this restaurant. No, I don't want to die. I want to leave. The admiral, who was completely hysterical, actually thought that Yizan would summon a meteorite. He ran out of the restaurant desperately, even completely forgetting his safety, and jumped into the sea with a grunt. At this time, Yizan, who had caused panic, had already left with the girls. From beginning to end, he never thought of attacking a group of ants. Brother Zan, who do you want to train? On the sea, Nami looked at Yizan with a curious look. Nami, who has been in contact with Yizan for a long time, is also familiar with Yizan. Knowing Yizan's laziness, it can be said that Yizan is definitely in the late stage of laziness. If you can sit, you will never stand, and if you can lie down, you will never sit, but now who can let Yizan cultivate without resting? It's just to be determined for the time being. I don't know if he can get me interested to cultivate, Yizan said casually. Although Luffy is the protagonist of One Piece, and Yuhi Fashanks personally selected it, but Yizan's words don't need to be taken into account now. Yizan is going to see Luffy. If it suits your appetite, Yizan will naturally is willing to train Luffy a little. Of course, if Luffy is not to his taste, Yizan is not willing to accompany Luffy to play the plot. Space, give me a face, and build a direct access to where Luffy is now. A golden force field spread and instantly formed a space Uzumaki in front of Yizan. Seeing the sudden appearance, the side beside him was stunned for a moment, and asked suspiciously, "Brother Zan, what is this?" "Space channel, you can go anywhere you want." Yizan's face froze. His words made Nami's eyes widen in shock. Space channel. Space and time, these two are always the most mysterious. Nami has long noticed Yizan's age. It seems that Yizan's age has never changed. When she was a child, Yizan was like this. Until now, Yizan's appearance has never changed. The answer that Nami asked Yizan before was that Yizan's own body stopped growing. Now it seems that the time of Yizan's own body is fixed. It's amazing. Nami's eyes twinkled with starlight, wandering around the space passage. "Well, if you want to study, I will have time for you to study in the future, my lady navigator. Let's go in with our boat." Yizan rubbed Nami's head lightly, and the golden force field bloomed again, instantly pulling apart the one-person high space Uzumaki, turning it into a huge Uzumaki that could accommodate a boat. Seeing such a terrifying space Uzumaki, Nami was surprised, but she quickly restrained her mind and controlled the boat to sail into Uzumaki. She felt that her eyes were dark and bright, and what caught her eye was a clear sea and white sand. "Where is this place?" Nami glanced around suspiciously. Passing through the space Uzumaki, their boat happened to be docked on the shore. Looking into the distance, along the winding path, you could see the distant village, quiet and peaceful. Marina, Robin, and Alvia in the cabin also came out. They disembarked together and threw Yizan directly on the boat. "Bah, a group of stinky women. They are ignoring me on purpose." Yizan curled his lips, and threw the anchor into the sea with one hand. When the ship was anchored, he was able to disembark. He found that several women had come very far ahead. "Hey, you idiots, wait for me, damn." Yizan thought in pieces, looked at the surrounding scenery from left to right, and found that this island had nothing special, as if it was just an ordinary island in the East China Sea, but when he used the face fruit ability before, he asked to teleport to the island where Luffy was located. But what is Luffy doing on this ordinary island? Yizan quickly caught up with the girls, quietly came behind Alvia, shot her suddenly, and squeezed her ass. "Ah, asshole." Her ass was pinched, making Alvia embarrassed and angry. She suddenly raised her foot and kicked Yizan, but Yizan smirked and grimaced. "Seriously, this woman's ass is still very predictable, Well, not to mention Yizan's habitual sex offense again. At this moment, a few people walked up a small slope along the winding path, and happened to meet an islander. "This is the village of Shirobu." "Shirobu Village, East China Sea." "Yes." After a simple exchange, Yizan got the name of the village. He felt a little familiar, but after thinking about it, he still couldn't think of where it was. Until. "The pirates are here. The pirates are here." "You're lying again." The sudden sound made Yizan suddenly realize, no wonder Luffy appeared here. It turns out, this is Usopp's hometown. Jezusbu's son Usopp. "Luffy, I remember there was a villain butler. It seems that there is also a beautiful girl, he. Looking at the villa at the highest point of the village, Yizan's mouth evoked a wicked smile. Chapter 53_quietly pretend. Tuck tuck tuck. A light knock on the door rang in the empty villa, and with a crunch sound, a man in a housekeeper's costume opened the villa's door. "Who are you?" The butler's tone was cold, and his eyes were sharp as blades. Yizan glanced at the other party, and the plot of One Piece became clearer and clearer in his mind. Is this Kia's house? Yizan asked with a smile. Yes, I'm Gurahano, the housekeeper of Kia's house. Do you have anything to do? Gurahano, the guy whose real name is Chloe, pushed his glasses coldly. It's very strange, unlike normal people pushing with fingers, but with the end of the palm, as if a habit developed for many years. It's good that it's Kia's family. Kia's father is a descendant of our family's branch. Now this branch has withered and no one succeeds. After the family's discussion, some of the wealth and business needs to be inherited by Kia. Yizan said in an orderly manner, but what he said caused the girls next to him to turn the Byakugan a lot. They knew that Brother Zan was going to lie again. Marina and Robin were okay, but Nami and Alvia directly looked at them with contempt. Yizan just ignored these two idiots, he just pretended to be coercive and quietly looked at the Black Cat pirates. Captain Crow. This guy has a really high IQ and has been lurking in K950 Ya's family for many years, for the sake of K Ya's family's wealth. In fact, although K Ya's family has a lot of wealth, if you want to spend a lifetime of money thoroughly, still worse. Greed flashed in Crow's eyes. Greed returned to greed, but Crow was always a cautious person. He thought for a moment. The open door was slightly closed. Sorry, Miss Kia is sick right now. If there is anything you can tell me, I can tell Miss Kia directly. Chloe said, but she didn't know that Yizan knew all of his disguises and conspiracies. Boom. With a muffled sound, Yizan kicked the door open. Of course, this kick only used the power of an ordinary adult, and in order to disguise, Keiluo did not resist, and was kicked to the ground by Yizan. The separation of the family is getting more and more outrageous now. A dog can also take care of the owner's affairs. Yizan looked at Chloe coldly, opened the door and walked in. Tell me about the 2 billion Baileys. Just listen. A housekeeper, just do what a housekeeper should do. Overstep, be careful to chop your claws. Yizan's words made Crow both surprised and angry. 2 billion Baileys. Isn't this an exaggeration? If there are 2 billion Baileys, even if you spend your whole life, you will not be able to use it up. In Chloe's eyes, money is more important than anything. He gave up his pirate group, gave up everything, and pretended to be at Kia's house for 3 years. Wasn't it just for money? Chloe is very smart, but facing the weakness of human nature, he has completely fallen into Yizan's trap. When he thinks of 2 billion Baileys, he feels that his heart is about to jump out. What kind of dignity does he care about, as long as he can get it this money? Thinking of this, Crow immediately got up from the ground and bowed respectfully to Yizan. What you said is, please, Miss Kia is on top, but she's ill. Crow said cautiously, completely treating Yizan as an uncle. Yizan didn't pay any attention to Chloe, but swaggered ahead and praised his wit in his heart. He was too smart. Under the leadership of Chloe, Yizan came to Kia's room. The faint smell of medicine filled the whole room, causing Yizan, who had just entered the door, to frown slightly. In this environment, normal people would also be sick. Okay. This is Miss Kia, Chloe hurriedly introduced to Yizan. As early as just now, the sound of going downstairs had caught Kia's attention. She turned to look at Yizan, and then looked at Chloe with puzzled eyes. Gulahano, who are they? Keiluo was about to speak, but Yizan directly waved his hand and said, Housekeeper, you go out. The next thing, you are not suitable here. Okay. Crow nodded and left, and the moment he closed the door, Crow's eyes instantly became extremely sharp. Too deceitful. It's too deceitful. I must kill you. Crow clenched his fists tightly, his face grim, but, that's 2 billion bellies. Thinking of this, Crow was very entangled in his heart. He wanted to kill Yizan, but could it be that simple to take out a family of 2 billion bellies casually? If you kill Yizan, you will not be able to escape the encirclement and suppression of this mysterious family, but if you don't kill it, you will be called like a dog, which is really unwilling. Chloe's extremely tangled mood reflected on his face, and it was very strangely tangled together. Just when Crow was confused, the old housekeeper of Kia's family came over slowly. "Gurahano, what's wrong with you? Are you feeling unwell?" "Ah, no, it's fine." Crow was startled. He suddenly reacted, and quickly calmed down the emotions in his heart. "After all, I am a housekeeper now, and I am just a housekeeper. Those touching wealth are still one step away from me, yes, only the last step." Yizan also knew that Crow was excited and complicated, but now Yizan needs to convince the Kia in front of him first. "Who are you?" Kia looked at Yizan and asked strangely. "You can call me Yizan," Yizan said slowly, as if it was his own home. He picked up an apple and cut it into a kiba shape, and gave it to the girls who came in with him. At this moment, Kia looked at Yizan silently. She frowned slightly, as if she was thinking about something. After thinking for a long time, suddenly, her eyes lit up, and her tone was full of surprise and surprise. "Yizan. You are the devil Yizan. Exactly the same as the portrait on the wanted notice. Are you really that demon Yizan wanted by the Navy? Huh, you seem surprised by my presence." Chapter 54_Cube Koya. Yizan is really strange now. The Navy has also read his own report. Well, except for his appearance, the rest is really not much of his own, and he has twisted himself into he was a great devil who did all kinds of heinous crimes. This was why everyone before that was extremely frightened after knowing Yizan's identity. And now, someone actually expressed his arrival, surprise. "Are you really as powerful as the newspapers say?" Kia asked curiously, looking at Yizan. Hearing the emotions in Kia's tone, Yizan seemed to understand a little bit. He looked at Kia with a smile, and a smirk crossed the corner of his mouth. "You want to know? Hee hee, I don't even know how good I am. If you want to know, go find the answer yourself." Hearing Yizan's words, Kaya was stunned for a moment. She stared at Yizan with big mengmeng eyes. She had never been out of the house, and she had never met such a rogue as Yizan. After a long time, as if remembering something, Kaya slowly lowered her head, her mouth slightly pouted with an unprecedented lowness. "But I'm sick." "Don't worry, I can cure your disease." Yizan smiled and grabbed Kaya's hand. "Don't," Kia exclaimed, and Yuhi's dizziness instantly filled her pretty face. Before she could resist, she felt a warm force flowing from her palm to her entire body. "Oh." Chakra passed through Kia's body quickly. Yizan thought for a moment and then nodded slowly. "There is no major problem on the whole, keep the medicine until the illness is cured." Yizan said carelessly, as if he had forgotten that he was still holding the girl's white and tender hand, but Ya bowed her head shyly, suffering from illness for many years. The warm breath of chakra gave her an unprecedented experience. For a while, it was Yuhi Run who was shy all over. Seeing Kia's weak and shy appearance, Yizan's smirk grew brighter and brighter. He just stared at Kia so badly, that intense gaze made Kia's face even more moist and shy. Fainted. The treatment lasted for a few minutes, and after a few minutes, the green chakra light slowly disappeared. "It's not a big problem. It's mainly because of the lack of sunlight and heart disease. I will give you a treatment first, so that you can move normally, and then cooperate with outdoor activities for treatment. After a long time, your disease will definitely be cured." Hearing Yizan's words, Kia finally raised her head. She looked at Yizan a little shyly, but more of surprise and gratitude. "Little girl, don't look at me like that. I'm afraid you will fall in love with me tilde." Yizan teased with a grin, making the girls behind him speechless for a while Nami started directly, pounced on Yizan's back, and hugged Yizan's neck. "Bad brothers on. Don't bully girls." "Hey, Nami, you've wronged me. I didn't bully the girl. I'm obviously teasing." "Humph, you're not allowed to flirt. If you flirt like this, you'll trick others into getting on board in a few days." Nami's words made Kia shy, but, for some reason, Kia did not reject this unprecedented shyness. On the contrary, this feeling made Kia very comfortable. Kia has always been a very cultivated lady. She quickly suppressed her shyness, and looked at Nami, Yizan and others with her big bright eyes. with a hint of doubt in her eyes, that, "If it's convenient, can you tell me, why are you helping me heal? Is there a reason to ask?" Nami gave Yizan a white look and said to Keiya, "He's a slut, the kind who can't walk when he sees beautiful women." "Idiot Nami, you actually said that I am a lecher. You are framed." "Humph. I'll let you know today what a lecher is." "Oh, bet. Take your hand. Don't touch it here. Hey, Robin sister, the truth, sister, Alvia sister, save me." Nami twisted around on Yizan's back, and the three girls sitting on the chairs not far away just smiled, determined to watch the show, but seeing no support, Nami could only forcibly slap Yizan's claws away. Hurriedly jumped off Yizan's back. "Do you still want to run?" Yizan smirked, hugged Nami who was about to run away, and regardless of the fact that Kia was still watching, he yanked Nami into his arms. "Boo Tilda." Yizan lightly pecked Nami's lips. "Ah, you bastard. How dare you kiss me without permission? I'm going to kill you." Nami yelled, and Zhang Qiba wanted to attack Yizan with his claws dancing like a kitten. As for Yizan, he let go of Nami immediately after kissing him. He danced around to avoid Nami's attack, taking advantage of Nami by the way. Not only that, he also shouted shamelessly, as if he was the victim. Murdered my husband." The cheerful atmosphere made Kia feel extremely cheerful, and a bright smile bloomed on her face, like the spring sunshine, with the freshness of the growth of all things. Seeing that Keiya's heart condition was much better, Yizan finally nodded with satisfaction. He hugged Nami who was rushing over, and came to Kia's side with Nami in his arms. "That's good. It's so beautiful to smile. It's not good for your body to have a bitter face all day long." Yizan said. The green light appeared in his hand again, and he pressed the green light on Kia's body. Seeing Yizan's behavior, not to mention Nami and Alvia, even the always gentle Robin and the lustful Magina who was used to her father's lewdness were speechless. What did they see? They saw that Yizan's hand actually fell directly on Kia's fierce. But at this moment, Yizan doesn't seem to know where his hand is at all. He uses medical ninjutsu to recuperate Keiya's body with great seriousness. His serious appearance seems to be doing something extremely solemn. Thing. Asshole. Stinker. It's abominable. Hey, Dad is getting worse and worse now. The girls looked at Yizan and had similar thoughts in their hearts at the same time. Here, Kia was so shy that she almost fainted. As a girl who has hardly been out of the house, where has she encountered such a thing? She can't wait to find a place drill into the seam. Chapter 55_Conditions for cooking. In fact, Kia could refuse, or push Yizan's hand away, but she didn't know if it was because of her gentle personality or what. Feeling. Kia showed her most shy side to Yizan, which made Yizan feel relieved, but the surface became more serious. "Well, I'm saving a teenage girl suffering from illness. I am holy." Pooh. Several women pouted at the same time. If you are holy, then there will be no bad people in the world. After a few more minutes, the treatment was finally over. Yizan put down his hands a little reluctantly, as if his nose was a little itchy, and rubbed his fingers on the bottom of his nose. It smells so good." Well, not to mention Yizan's behavior, in order to cure Kia's illness perfectly, Yizan decided to temporarily stay at Kia's house. In the early morning, the sun is shining, the wind is sunny, the birds are singing and the flowers are fragrant. "Kaya, go for a walk, go for a walk." Yizan pushed open Kia's bedroom door and came to Kia's room early in the morning. Then, dazed, a big blank stare, Yizan's eyes widened instantly. In the room, Kaya was getting up and getting dressed, and the fair skin made Yizan's eyes fall. So white, so tender. Yizan stared at Kaya without blinking, and Kaya was shocked by Yizan's sudden intrusion into the bedroom. Then, she let out a scream, and hurriedly climbed to the bed and covered the quilt tightly. Yuhi's delicate and pretty face is covered in clouds, and her body is so stiff that she doesn't know what movements to use to resolve her inner shyness. "That, I didn't see anything just now," Since you're still sleeping, Kia, I'll go outside and wait for a while. Yizan blinked his eyes without Yuhi, turned and left the bedroom. Seeing Yizan's disappearing figure, Kia clutched the bed and covered her head in the bed. The daughter of her, the servants usually knock on the door when they come in, and she has never been barged in. Kia, hurry up. The voice outside the door surprised Kia. She pouted slightly and groaned, but Yuhi's dizziness on her cheeks couldn't be dissipated. After waiting for a while, Kia slowly opened the door. The snow-white dress made Kia look even more delicate. She lowered her head slightly, not daring to look at Yizan at all. Let's go out for a walk. Yizan stared at Kia's face with a wicked smile. His tone carried a touch of evil. He gently held Kia's hand, but Kia did not refuse, just passively, pulled by Yizan to the lobby on the first floor. Cut. This bastard. Start again. In the lobby on the first floor, Nami, Robin, and Alvia were sitting on the sofa chatting, and Marina was still sleeping late in the bedroom. Seeing Yizan pulling Kia downstairs, Nami immediately rushed over and snatched Kia from Yizan's hand. Kaya, go, don't worry about this bad guy. Kia lowered her head and let Namela go. On the spot, Yizan stupidly looked at his empty hands, and subconsciously looked at Robin and Alvia. One left and one right, choose for yourself. Bah, I think beautifully. Alvia spat lightly, dragged Robin and walked outside. Yizan's eyes rolled, and the thief followed, quickly leaned up from behind, and put his arm around Orvia's slender waist. Asshole, get your hands off. No, he. Facing Yizan's rogue, Olivia was helpless. She gave Yizan a stern look and let Yizan put her arms around her waist. If you look carefully, you can find a shy Yuhi on her cheek. Just as everyone walked to the gate of the villa, a figure blocked the gate from the outside. Are you going out? The food is ready. Chloe blocked the door, but pretended to respect Yizan and the others. No need, from today onwards, Kia's daily life will be monitored by me personally. Yizan did not hide his doubts about Crow. Words. Brother Zan, don't say that to Gulahano, he's a very good housekeeper. Kaya pulled Yizan's clothes, and pleaded for Chloe. Very good. Kia, that's why you haven't seen a really good butler. Gurahano is a rubbish, and it belongs to the rubbish that needs to be rebuilt. Yizan made an undisguised mockery, raised his hand and pushed Keiluo, pushing away Keiluo who was blocking the door. He glanced at Chloe disdainfully, and took the girls out of the villa. When passing by Chloe, Kia smiled apologetically at Chloe before being pulled away by Yizan. Looking at the figures of the people leaving, Crow clenched his fists tightly, and behind the round glasses, a cold and angry light flashed. Crow's situation did not affect Yizan's mood. Although the island was not big, it was not too small. He took the girls to a high-slope meadow and took out the tools for picnic from the storage scroll. Brother Zan, do you want to cook? Looking at Yizan's actions, Nami's eyes lit up and her saliva almost came out. Nami, Robin and even Alvia were looking forward to Yizan's cooking skills. Want me to do it? Yizan smirked and pointed to his mouth proudly. I'm hungry. Yizan's movements were very strange, but Kaya couldn't understand it at all. But Nami, with Yuhi's face, leaned over to Yizan's side, haha, and quickly kissed Yizan's mouth. This behavior made Kia a little stunned. Before she could react, Robin also came to Yizan. Compared with Nami, she was bolder. She actually sat directly on Yizan's lap and hugged Yizan's neck. Forcefully pressed his lips to Yizan's mouth. This time, Kia finally reacted. If you want Yizan to cook, you need to kiss him, but I have never kissed anyone before. Kaya lowered her head with Yuhi's face, pretending she didn't understand what happened between Yizan, Nami and Robin, but at this time, Yizan finally set his eyes on her. Kaya, hey. Chapter 56_Luffy said, get on my boat. After kissing Robin, Yizan finally set his eyes on Kia, and Kia blinked her eyes in a pretentious manner, and asked suspiciously, what's wrong? Is there something wrong? Humph, don't think you can hide by pretending to be stupid. Yizan slowly came to Kia's side, and pointed to his mouth with a smirk. Hey, kiss Tilda. Don't. Kia shyly shrank like a little rabbit. Nami hugged Yizan's neck from behind and stopped Yizan's behavior. Kaya, don't pay attention to him. Sister Alvia didn't kiss him either. This bad guy just wants to trick you into kissing him. Hearing Nami's words, Kia breathed a sigh of relief, but for some unknown reason, Kia felt a little disappointed in her heart, and she also had a hint of expectation. Alright, a few idiot women. Today this chef will show you a show and let you know what a picnic master is. But to be reasonable, Brother Zahn, why don't you ask Marina to eat at 30? She's a slacker. It's noon when I wake up. Don't worry about her, we'll eat it by ourselves. Because it was early in the morning, the picnics were all relatively light food, and even so, Kia almost swallowed her tongue. Koya finally knew why Nami Robin and Alvia wanted Yizan to cook so much, because it was so delicious. At 10 o'clock in the morning, the picnic dinner finally came to an end. Kia lay on the grassy high-slope lawn, rubbed her stomach, and narrowed her eyes comfortably. So full. There was a hint of contentment and a smile on the corner of her mouth, which was something she had never experienced before. Because of her physical problems, she stayed in the bedroom for many years, like a canary trapped in a cage, very pitiful. Yizan overestimated Kia's food intake, and in the end there was still a few grilled food left. These food will be packaged and brought back later, for Marina. Yizan didn't clean up, and Nami Robin and Alvia, who were very familiar with this, were about to get up to clean up the things left over from the picnic. When the three girls were about to pack up, a figure suddenly came out. Ah! I smell delicious, delicious. With a cheerful shout, a figure rushed to the picnic grill and swept away the remaining food. Wow, it's delicious, delicious. Is there anything else? Is there anything else? After eating these, the figure quickly ran beside the crowd and asked. Looking at this figure, Yizan raised his eyebrows and found that a straw hat was on top of the other's head. Straw Hat Luffy. Yizan's mouth twitched into a smile, but he didn't expect to find Luffy before he found him. After seeing Luffy, the girls turned their attention to Yizan. At this moment, Luffy also looked at Yizan. Did you cook the food? Well, it's me, what's the problem? After getting the answer he wanted, Luffy's face immediately showed a touch of joy. He took Yizan's arm like a child, and begged pitifully, good-hearted people who cook very well, let's come. Let's have a party. No, I'm full. Ah, but I'm so hungry. Luffy's face was full of frustration, as if thinking of something. Luffy grinned, and the 2 rows of neat Kiba teeth glowed brilliantly under the sunlight. Be my crew. I'm missing a cook on my ship. Luffy's giggling personality is still very pleasing. Yizan smiled, pinched the straw hat on Luffy's head and twirled. You are too weak. Weak. I'm strong. Despised by Yizan, Luffy yelled again. He waved his rubber arm fiercely, and said confidently, you call me weak. What if I beat you, and you'll be my crew? Hearing Luffy's challenge, Yizan's eyes finally flashed with interest. Beat me? Boy, don't say you beat me. I'll stand here and let you fight. As long as you can let me take half a step away, I'll do it. Agree to your request. Yizan said, and stood up lazily, with a casual look but full of confidence. The idiot Luffy has only one tendon in his head. Where does he think about what and why? When Yizan agreed to his challenge, his heart blossomed. If he beat Yizan half a step back, he would win. Any difficulty? Haha, my pirate group will have a chef soon. I'm so happy. Hey, be careful, I'm strong. Luffy laughed and took a few steps back, as if he had accumulated strength. Waving his fist and flying towards Yizan, Yizan just raised his hand at will, and easily pinched Luffy's fist. Wow, so you are also very strong. Being easily blocked by Yizan, Luffy was not only not disappointed, but even more enthusiastic. He looked at Yizan with a smile, and stretched his hands directly. What's this? Seeing Luffy's arm lengthen by more than 10 meters, Kia beside him was shocked. Devil fruit capable people are people who have eaten devil fruit. Devil fruit is called the secret treasure of the sea, with a market value of at least 100 million Baileys. It is said to be the incarnation of the devil of the sea. As a price, those who eat will be rejected by the sea and become land ducks. Robin explained casually, watching Yi-zan and Luffy's battle quietly. Oh no, it's not a battle, it should be 107. Watching Yi-zan pretending to be forceful. The strength gap between the two sides is too big. Robin feels that even if it is himself, he can conquer Luffy with one move. Of course, Luffy didn't know what Robin was thinking. At this moment, he was attacking Yi-zan with passion. Rubber rubber rubber. Pistol. Boom. Rubber rocket. Boom. Rubber machine gun. Bang bang bang. No matter how Luffy attacked, Yi-zan easily caught it with both hands. Not only that, but the strength and impact, which depended on the elasticity of the rubber, hit Yi-zan's hand like a bowl into the sea, without any fluctuations. Ah! Luffy shouted, the moves he could use at present have been used up. He was using the previous moves repeatedly, but in front of Yi-zan, it was useless. As I said, you are not my opponent. Yi-zan said with a smile. His words finally made Luffy stop. Luffy just stood there, staring at Yi-zan silently. For a long time, he suddenly bit his mouth and cried aggrieved. Woo, you can only eat delicious food once, so sad. Woo. This foodie. Yi-zan shook his head speechlessly, but didn't say anything more. For Yi-zan, Luffy is still in the observation period, and what to do in the future remains to be discussed. Chapter 57_Unbearable Chloe. When Yi-zan and Luffy met, under the cliff of the mountain behind the island, Chloe sneakily met a man with Yuhi-colored peach heart glasses. The plan has changed, I'll tell you now, hurry up and prepare. The person Chloe met was the deputy head of the Black Cat Pirates, Zhang Gao. Chloe and Zango began to change their plans and plot, but they didn't notice that on the cliff above them, a boy with a long nose was looking at them in horror. The pirates are coming. Usopp rushed into the village in horror and shouted in the village. However, no one believed what he said, and the fact that the wolf came was vividly displayed in Usopp. No one believed Usopp. He could only make up some unreliable tricks to delay time. On the high slope on the other side of the island, Yi-zan yawned lazily. Next to him, Luffy was gobbling up food. What Luffy is eating now is something that Yi-zan made casually, but he never thought that Luffy would gobble it so much. Is it that delicious? Your cooking skills are really good. I really want you to be the chef of my pirate group, so that I can eat the food you make in the future. Luffy said vaguely, his mouth filled with food. For Luffy's invitation, Yi-zan just smiled. Luffy's character is like this, foodie, funny, but very reliable, and it's more compatible with Yi-zan. Now Yi-zan wants to be sure of only one, that is Luffy's aptitude, that is, the speed at which his strength increases. After all, it was promised that Roger would overthrow the world government. For a lazy person like Yi-zan, of course he had to find a seed player. If the plot of the original book hasn't changed, Chloe should have started. Let's see how Luffy and Chloe will fight next. Yi-zan thought to himself as he looked at Luffy's nonsense. Wow, I'm so full. Luffy held his huge belly and narrowed his eyes comfortably. Because of the rubber fruit, Luffy's belly had already turned into a ball. Tisk tisk. This big ball looks like she's pregnant. Pregnant. Luffy blinked, then lowered his head hard and looked at his big belly. At this sight, Luffy himself was about to cry. I didn't think so before, but when he heard Yi-zan's words, Luffy realized that his big belly really looked like a woman was pregnant. I don't want it. Luffy seemed to remember something terrible, shook his head quickly, jumped up, twisted his body a few times, and his stomach went down slowly. Okay. Luffy patted his stomach and finally said relieved. Luffy's appearance made Yi-zan and all the girls laugh out loud. I am very happy today, but Kia's body still can't be tired for a long time. Yi-zan glanced at Kia, who was already a little tired, and took Kia's hand, then. That's it for today. Yeah. After eating, Luffy's face bloomed with joy. My name is Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy. The man who will become the Pirate King in the future. One Piece. Well, One Piece. Interesting. Yizan smiled and patted Luffy's shoulder. I wish you success. My name is Yizan, we will meet. Yizan said, and walked towards the village with the girls. And here, Luffy also jumped away, and he took another road, and it didn't take long for him to meet Usopp, who was busy circling around. Usopp, what's wrong with you? Luffy met Usopp when he first landed on the shore, and later he was looking for food because he was hungry. Seeing Luffy, Usopp seemed to have found the backbone. He was despised by the villagers and cried aggrieved, and began to talk about Chloe. Help me prepare, I'm going to tell Kia the true face of that housekeeper. Usopp said and left quickly. At this moment, Yizan also brought the girls back to the villa. Kia fell asleep on the way, and her body was still very weak, which also led to Yizan holding Kia in his arms on the way back and letting her sleep quietly in his arms. Huh, what about the housekeeper who can't do anything? Looking at the old housekeeper who opened the door, Yizan asked suspiciously. Gurahano went out after you guys left, and hasn't come back yet. I see, I understand. Yizan nodded. Go and prepare the ingredients for lunch. It should be lighter, but Ya has just recovered and can't eat greasy. The old housekeeper responded, and Yizan carried Kia back to the bedroom. Kaya, Kaya. When Yizan just put Kia on the bunk, he heard a call outside the window. Of course he knew who the call was. Thinking of Usopp in the original book, Yizan casually pushed open the window. Who are you? Yizan asked, pretending not to know him. What caught his eye was a long nose and an ugly face. Too ugly. Yizan had a very deep memory of Usopp in the original work. Apart from Usopp's character, this is his distinctive appearance. Who are you? Why are you in Miss Kia's room? Usopp's face changed greatly, as if he felt that his woman had been snatched away. He yelled at Yizan. You're making a noise for Koya. Yizan frowned, picked up a piece of paper on the table, injected the chakra of the wind attribute, and directly cut off the branch where Usopp was. Ouch! Kia's bedroom is on the 3rd floor of the villa. Usopp is just an ordinary person's body. Although the physical fitness of the people in the One Piece world surpasses that of the people on Earth, this fall will still make Usopp miserable. If you are looking for Kia, you can come in through the gate openly and honestly, but let me see you in the window again, and I will kill you. Yizan's face was cold, and a rare murderous intent erupted. The terrifying killing intent made Usopp tremble, and he was so terrified that he even forgot the pain of falling. Boom! The window was closed, like a barrier that could never be broken, completely isolating Usopp from the outside. Yizan looked down at Kaya, who was sleeping very soundly, and turned to leave. The ingredients are ready, and Gurahano is back. The old butler said to Yizan. Well, I see. Yizan looked at Keiluo, and Keiluo lowered his head and came to Yizan's side. Sorry, I have a little private matter. I don't care what excuses you have. As a housekeeper, I am extremely disappointed in you. Yizan sarcastically said, don't hang around in front of me in the future, it will be an eyesore. Yizan's increasingly domineering and disdainful attitude made Crow clench his fists tightly. If he hadn't tried his best to suppress his anger, he would definitely kill Yizan at this moment. Wait, I must be patient and let him be arrogant for a while. When my pirate team comes over, all the money is mine. Thinking like this, the anger in Crow's heart was finally suppressed. Seeing Krona's suppressed anger, Yizan smiled happily. He likes to treat people and build his happiness on the pain of others. This feeling is so refreshing. Crow's plan was unfolding in an orderly manner, and at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the main members of the Black Cat Pirates had arrived at the shore. The unbearable Crow finally began to test Yizan's 2 billion inheritance of property. He had already made a plan. Once Yizan handed over the property to Kaya, he immediately launched an attack, killing Yizan, Kia, the old housekeeper and the others. All Yizan's women were killed. Chapter 58 Attack of the Black Cat Pirates. Chloe wanted to test the inheritance of 2 billion Baileys, and Yizan didn't want to continue playing the game of pretending to be ordinary people with Chloe. Kia has already obtained 2 billion assets, the details of which are not for people like you to inquire about. Go away. Yizan glanced at Chloe disdainfully and responded to Chloe's temptation. After knowing that Yizan had handed over the so-called property to Kaya, Crow's eyes burst into a look of surprise. Everything was so perfect. After planning for such a long time, Kailuo's purpose is about to be achieved, which makes Kailuo almost lose his ability to think. He didn't realize that Yizan's performance had already revealed flaws. If Crow was still so thoughtful, he would definitely have found something wrong, but unfortunately, Crow was carried away by the huge surprise and didn't notice anything wrong at all. Chloe's plan unfolded. At this time, on the winding slope outside the village, Usopp and Luffy also perfected the so-called defense arrangement, which was all seen by Yizan. Although Usopp's arrangement is very naive, it can also block the Black Cat pirates that have never seen the world. In this case, Luffy and Chloe will be on 387. Luffy, your qualifications, can you let me take a fancy to it? Yizan was in the distance, watching all this with a smile, and never thought of helping him from the beginning to the end. Yizan waited silently, and after about 20 minutes, a group of pirates finally appeared at the entrance of the winding path. Come on. Luffy's face was solemn, but Usopp was still trembling with fear. He squeezed the slingshot in his hand tightly, and his eyes kept scanning the distance. Luffy, hasn't your swordsman friend come yet? Swordsman friend? Are you talking about Zoro? I don't know how long he's been here. Luffy smiled brightly and patted Usopp's shoulder comfortingly. Don't worry, these pirates, one person can do it. Indeed, if Luffy can't even solve this group of garbage, then he doesn't have the qualifications of One Piece. Yizan thought silently, and suddenly, he sensed a person in the distance beside him, turned his head to look. A man in a blue dress and Yuhi-colored heart-shaped glasses actually walked to Yizan from the other side of the village. Next to Zan. Are you Zango, the deputy head of the Black Cat Pirates? You know me. Hearing Yizan's name, Zangao was startled, and subconsciously picked up the metal ring pendant on his neck. Zangao is a hypnotist and has almost no ability to fight in close combat. Because of this, even if Yizan did not show the strength of a strong man, he habitually took a step back and looked at Yizan with extreme vigilance. I not only know you, but also know that your pirate group is about to attack this village, but I am very curious. You are not with the group of pirates below, but come out directly from the other side, which means you have already sneaked into the village. Already. Yizan's words made Zangao even more shocked, because all of Yizan's guesses were correct. As the deputy head of the Black Cat Pirates, he also had a sense of crisis. He quickly shook the metal ring in his hand, and even the sound also became a little weird. Look at me, do you really want to sleep? He said slowly, using the hypnosis technique quickly. Yizan did not make any resistance to Zangao's hypnosis. He just looked at Zangao silently, wanting to see what the few mental attacks in the One Piece world looked like. Result. That's it. Yizan blinked blankly. Did you hypnotize me? I'm already hypnotized. Zangao stared at him, his eyes full of shock. He couldn't believe that someone in the world could endure his own hypnosis. Forget it, it's really pitiful. Come, let you see what a real mental attack is. Yizan shook his head regretfully, handed the hand seal with one hand, and a powerful demonic illusion formed instantly. At that moment, Zangao saw that the surrounding scene had completely changed, and the originally peaceful village had turned into a hell scene full of blood of death. What's going on? Zangao looked at all this in horror, unable to believe his eyes. He clearly felt that he was very awake, that is to say, he was not hypnotized. I feel pain. I wasn't hypnotized, but... Zangao was horrified. He felt pain, but everything around him told him that he had been hypnotized by a very advanced technique. You take your time, I'm leaving first. No, Zangao shouted, but saw Yizan's figure slowly disappearing in this large blood hell. Outside, Yizan casually threw the unconscious Zangao aside, and continued to watch the battle with an indifferent expression. At the same time that Yizan was using demonic illusion to Zangao, the Black Cat pirates had already attacked the trail. "Where is Vice Captain Zangao? Why didn't he come to meet us?" "I don't know." "Never mind, kill this guy with the long nose and the straw hat first." "Kill." The pirates rushed up the slope to kill Luffy and Usopp at the top of the slope, but in this group, except for the Cat brothers, the rest were scumbags with less than 5 combat power. Soon, Usopp blocked the attack of the pirates with the little things he had arranged before, and the Cat brothers easily avoided the nails, rolling stones and other arrangements with their good strength, and quickly rushed to Luffy and Usopp. Boom! Swish! Luffy quickly dodged the attack of one of them, but Usopp was kicked away by the other. "Ha ha ha, a bunch of trash still wants to stop our Black Cat pirates, go to hell." Kicking Usopp, the Cat brothers finally aimed their attack at Luffy, and at this moment, a figure suddenly rushed from a distance, and after a closer look, it was a man with a green head. "Luffy, get out of the way." 3 swords. Click. Blood is pouring into the sky, one hit hits. Brother Cat was killed by this sudden sneak attack. The sudden situation made everyone stunned. The pirates who were still resisting the wooden nails in the middle of the winding path looked at it stupidly, and Usopp, who fell to the ground, also widened his eyes in shock. So strong. Chapter 59_Clown. Strength is everyone's definition of Sauron. Usopp didn't say it, he was originally a weak scum, and in the Black Cat pirates, all the pirates were not shocked by Zoro. You know, the Cat brothers are the strongest people except for Captain Crow, but now, this green algae head guy kills in seconds. In fact, Sauron didn't appear to be so powerful, but the 3 swordsmanship was originally Soren's strongest swordsmanship at present, and he attacked from behind, which caused the Cat brothers to fail to respond and was instantly killed by one blow. Killing the Cat people in seconds, the remaining pirates of the Black Cat pirates were completely stunned. They flinched and retreated, especially when Zoro's sharp eyes swept down. It seemed like the last one that broke the camel's back. Straw, but they collapsed completely. Run. Run, I don't want to die. Ooh. The pirates exited the trail in fear and ran towards the distant coast, where there was their pirate ship, and they were going to escape on the pirate ship. But at this moment, swish! 5 white lights like cat's claws vanished in an instant, and the 5 pirates running at the front clutched their necks in pain, splashing a lot of blood, dyeing their hands and clothes Yuhi color. PFF'd. The heavy object fell to the ground, and it was the bodies of 5 pirates. At that moment, all the pirates seemed to be frozen, and stopped running away in fear. Ship, 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 Captain. A pirate collapsed to the ground in horror. His eye sockets were split open, and what was reflected in his eyes was a man in a suit, glasses, and 10 supernormal metal claws on his hands. A bunch of rubbish, have you all been scrapped during the 3 years I've been away? Chloe took an elegant step and pushed the glasses lightly with the palm of his right hand, and a white light flashed through the lenses. Kill them all, it's an eyesore. What? HMPH, spoon. Crow sneered, and his figure suddenly turned into a light, so fast that everyone could not see it. Swish swish. The white light was accompanied by endless screams, as if there were a lot of shadows in the entire winding path. Hundreds of claw marks appeared on the stone walls and ground on both sides of the trail. The claw marks were deep and long, extremely terrifying. So fast. Zoro and Luffy's eyes widened in shock, and the 2 of them could barely see the afterimage of Chloe. And Usopp didn't even know what was going on. He only heard the screams that kept ringing, and his face was confused. When Rock's attack stopped, the winding path was covered with blood and corpses. He raised his hand and held up his glasses gracefully with his right palm. When he raised his hand, blood slid down from the long metal iron claws. Dye the back of Yuhi's hand along the fingers. He walked towards the top of the path with slow steps like this. Those cold glasses had no emotion at all, looking at Luffy Zoro, as if he was just looking at two lambs. When Chloe walked towards Luffy, in the villa, Kia watched the old housekeeper tell the truth with a shocked face. The old housekeeper was covered in blood and was injured by Chloe, who had left. "So, you believe us this time?" Nami sighed softly, a little speechless. In fact, from a very early time, Nami and the girls knew about Chloe's true face from Yizan, but because of Yizan's prohibition, they couldn't tell Kia. "I believe it. I didn't expect him to be a ruthless pirate. Sister Nami, Sister Robin, Sister Marina, and Sister Alvia, can you save him? He was hurt too badly by Chloe, and if it goes on like this, the old housekeeper will die." "We can't save him. You can only go to Brother Zan. Brother Zan's medical skills are very good," Marina said, deliberately hiding the fact that she would use medical ninjutsu. "This kind of thing should be left to Dad. Saved old housekeeper, Kia will definitely be more grateful." Don't look at Marina's usual flamboyant. In fact, she is very smart, and even helps Yizan pick up girls, and she is a group of people. Hearing the words of Genai, Kia hurriedly got up and rushed out the door. She wanted to get Yizan back. When Kaya went to look for Yizan, Yizan was watching Luffy and Chloe's battle seriously. There is a strange custom in the pirate world. As long as you are proud and confident in your heart, even if you have a lot of teammates, you will choose the one-on-one heads-up mode. It seems that only in this way can you prove your strength. Just like now, Zoro and Usopp are standing not far away to watch the battle. Luffy is trying to duel with Chloe. The battle between the two is very exciting in the eyes of Zoro and Usopp, but in the eyes of Yizan, it seemed a little boring. However, in terms of Luffy's ability to go out to sea, such talent and aptitude can indeed be called the protagonist of the pirate world. Let's go with Luffy for a while, and he won't be boring when he is there, and I can teach him in an instant. Thinking about it this way, it seems like a good idea. Yizan yawned lazily, and continued to watch patiently, but at this moment, a delicate figure staggered towards Yizan. "Huh?" Yizan turned his head in doubt, his figure flashed, and he came directly in front of this figure. "Kia, why did you come here? Your health is still not good," Yizan asked Kia, who was a little unsteady on his body. "Brother Zan, please help me. The old housekeeper was injured by Chloe, very badly. Sister Marina said that only you can save the old housekeeper." Kia's eyes were swollen and Yuhi had obviously cried once. Yizan was heartbroken. Kia was in her arms, her figure flashed, and a Hiraishin technique returned directly to the villa. "Little idiot," Yizan glared at Genai, who stuck out her tongue mischievously. "Dad, I created an opportunity for you. Save the old housekeeper's life. Maybe Kia will fall in love with you completely tilde." "Bah, little idiot." Yizan glared at Genai again, squatted down, and put his palm on the old housekeeper. Palm sage art. The green light bloomed, full of rich vitality, and soon, the injuries on the old butler's body healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. A few minutes later, Yizan got up and clapped his hands with satisfaction. They lost too much blood. Just make up for it, the trauma has healed," Yizan said, turning to look at Marina and Nami. "You guys are here to accompany Kia. I still have some things to do. I'll go first." Quote. Chapter 60_Flying Boat. After Yizan finished speaking, he used the technique of Hiraishin to leave again. He came to the place where Luffy and Crow fought again, and found that Luffy had defeated Captain Crow. Tisk tisk tisk. "It's so miserable." Yizan lazily came to Luffy, who at the moment was covered in injuries, all of which were scratched by Chloe's iron claws. The arrival of Yizan made Sauron vigilant again. He didn't recognize Yizan, but as a swordsman's instinct, he put his right hand on the hilt of the sword. "Sauron, it's all right, he's a good man." Seeing Yizan, Luffy's face burst into a bright smile. Hee. "No way, the opponent is too strong. As long as he doesn't die, his injuries will always heal." Luffy's optimistic attitude and smiling face made Yizan also laugh. He patted Luffy's shoulder lightly, and asked with praise, would you like some treatment? Hee hee. If you can cook me a delicious meal, it will be the best treatment in the world. Luffy's saliva instantly flowed out when he thought of Yizan's skewers, and he was full of anticipation. Looking at Yizan, Yizan did not refuse, but nodded with a smile. Yes. Yeah. Yizan's words made Luffy jump up excitedly, and then his body was in severe pain, only to remember that he was injured all over his body, and then he fell limply. Well, it's delicious, really delicious. This is half an hour after the end of the battle. In Kia's villa, Luffy shoved the meat in front of him into his mouth. Yizan personally took charge, and also made Nami, Robin, Marina and Alvia, who were already full, have an appetite. They ate together with Luffy, but compared to the girls, Luffy was equipped with a rubber fruit stretched mouth and a mouth. Stomach, eat faster than a rice bucket. What made Yizan very speechless was that with Luffy eating and drinking, Luffy's scarred body began to slowly recover. It's really a little strong life shrouded in a halo of the protagonist. Yizan turned over a big Byakugan, and he could recover from his injuries by eating. Why didn't such a good thing happen to him? Although I don't need this ability now. Wow, so full. Luffy smiled contentedly, lying on the ground and touching his belly. Are you full? When you are full, let's talk about the next thing. Yizan looked at Luffy and said slowly. Huh. Luffy looked at Yizan strangely, and sat up with some difficulty covering his belly. What's wrong? Is there anything else? Of course there is something. Yizan's face was serious, but there was a cruel smile on the corner of his mouth. I made this meal, plus I used top quality ingredients. The meal cost 100 million Bailey. Quote. 100 million Bailey. Looking at Yizan's serious face, Luffy was stunned. He opened his eyes wide, and after a while, he hurriedly rummaged through his pockets, and instantly burst into tears. I'm sorry, I don't have any money. Can I owe it first? No. Yizan grinned cruelly, looking at Luffy with his hands spread out, wanting to know what Luffy was going to do. Luffy scratched his ears and cheeks anxiously, while Yizan watched all this happily. Yizan's bad taste finally made Nami unable to watch. Boom. Hey, it hurts. Yizan covered his head aggrievedly, and looked at Nami with a blink of an eye. Baby, why are you knocking on me? HMPH. I'll knock you out. Nami Tsunere snorted softly, turned her head and said to Luffy, you don't have to be serious, Brother Zan just likes to joke. How can you ask for money for a meal? That's it. Marina also nodded. Even if you ask for money, you won't ask for 100 million Baileys. Hey, Marina, when did you turn your elbow out? Hee hee, who told Dad not to accompany me? Tilda. Sheena made a mischievous face, making Yizan helpless. It's a pity that the efforts of Nami and Marina were in vain in Luffy's mind. In other words, Luffy was really an idiot. He clearly said that he was joking. He scratched his head apologetically, split his mouth, revealing 2 rows of neat white clean Kiba teeth. Brother Zan, don't worry, when I have money in the future, I will definitely pay you back. Hey, are you serious? Of course, I am the future One Piece, I will do what I say. That's good. Then as a creditor, in order for you to give me your money quickly, I have an obligation to cultivate your ability to make money. Yizan's face was full of smiles, but Yizan's words made Luffy stunned, and after a while, he finally reacted. His eyes glowed with surprise, and he looked at Yizan excitedly. You mean, do you want to join my pirate group? Yes, as a creditor. Yizan nodded, his words made Luffy jump up with joy. It's great, it's great. It's delicious, there will be something delicious in the future. Seeing Luffy's excited appearance, Yizan also laughed. I have to say, Luffy's smile is still very contagious, and such a funny idiot will definitely be very happy in the future. Luffy was happy and excited, but he didn't know that in the days to come, he would live in Yizan's pranks. Those hellish pranks made him suffer. In the future, whenever Luffy recalls this time, he will shed tears of remorse, hating why he is so greedy, and being deceived by a meal so easily. Of course, Luffy is still very excited now. He is excited that he will be able to eat unparalleled delicacies in the future. In Luffy's opinion, as long as Yi-Zan becomes a crew member of his own pirate group and asks him, he will not refuse to do it. Rice. It's a pity that Luffy didn't know that Yi-Zan's purpose was just to train Luffy to become a pirate king, even more than One Piece, so as to stir up the turmoil in the whole sea. Yi-Zan decided to take the women to play with the Straw Hat Pirates. All these discussions made Kia at the dining table full of anticipation. She carefully glanced at Marina, and finally gathered up her courage in the encouraging gaze of Marina. Brother Zan. Kia, what's wrong? Kia pursed her lips tangled, and finally, she raised her head suddenly, her eyes flashing with anticipation. Brother Zan, you are going to see, can I go with you? Although they have only been in contact for 2 days, Kia has already been attracted to Yi-Zan. As a girl who has never been out of the house, she is very envious of her life at sea, and subconsciously, she does not want to be separated from Yi-Zan. Seeing Kia's look of anticipation, Yi-Zan smiled, lowered his head, and gently kissed Kia's forehead. Of course.